Everybody, if you could start taking your seats, we're going to get started here in about 2 minutes. Good morning and welcome to the 78th Annual Convention of the National Federation of the Blind of Kentucky. We are so pleased to have everyone here with us this morning. We are going to start off by having Todd Stevens open up with our invocation.
Dear Heavenly Father, we are thankful for this opportunity to come together. We celebrate this time once a year in the state, and we're thankful for the fellowship. We're thankful for your love, and we ask you to bless this day and bless our convention. Please help us to go forth as we build the National Federation of the Blind with integrity, love, and support of one another. In the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Amen. Amen and amen.
Thank you, Todd. I would like to invite Ashley Swafford, our first vice president, up to the microphone to do our belief statement. You have a copy of the pledge and the belief statement in the middle of the table. They are both print and braille copies if you need them.
The National Federation of the Blind advances the lives of its members and all blind people in the United States. We know that blindness is not the characteristic that defines you or your future. Every day, we raise the expectations of blind people because low expectations create obstacles between blind people and our dreams. Our collective power, determination, and diversity achieve the aspirations of all blind people.
Thank you, Ashley. I now invite Karen Main, affiliate board member, to the microphone to do our pledge with us. We would ask that everybody please join in. Again, copies can be found in the middle of your table.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? I used to, at our meetings, we would say this every month, and I would tell them if they would memorize it and, prove to me they could memorize it, I'd buy them dinner. It didn't work, but maybe it has by now. Okay, the pledge. I pledge to participate actively in the effort of the National Federation of the Blind to achieve equality, opportunity, and security for the blind, to support the policies and programs of the Federation, and to abide by its Constitution. Good job, guys.
All of us. Oh, sorry. You're fine, honey. Thank you so much, Karen. I now invite our national representative, Jamie Ritchie, to the microphone for her introduction. Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. Traffic jam.
Good morning, Kentucky. It's been so great to meet all of you, and we really thank you for the warm reception that my husband and I have both gotten from everyone. We enjoyed yesterday's symposium as well as the social evening, and we're really looking forward to the rest of today. I send greetings from President Riccobono. Of course, he wishes he could be here and at every state convention, which is just not possible, especially since this weekend there are 4 other conventions happening. New Jersey, New Mexico, Delaware, and Oregon. So we hope that their conventions are going as great as this one. And I will be back a little bit later to talk to you about some of the things going on across the country. But in the meantime, enjoy the morning and hope to meet each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jamie. We are delighted to have you with us this year. Next, I would like to welcome Dave Wilkinson. Dave has joined us for a few years now, and we always love having him. And I absolutely love his presentation title this year, which is Don't Find Yourself, Create It. Dave, I'm right here.
Kind of appropriate for the title. Ooh, cool. There's nothing like getting lost on the way to the podium.
It's happened to all of us.
Surround sound, the end of the blind. Well, good morning. That kind of sucked. I'm just saying, I just got lost to get here. Well, good morning, Kentucky NFB.
Good morning.
That is wicked better. I was telling Todd that it's wonderful to actually be here in person this year. I do endurance athletic stuff, and we'll get to some of that stuff later on. And last year, when I was speaking to Kentucky NFB, I was in the middle of a 24-hour cycling race in the deserts of California. And I was doing a relay race, so I would be part of it than the other team than me. This year, I'm doing the whole thing, so I'll just ride for 24 hours. But we're running over to the rental car. My younger sister, who just likes to watch me in pain, is always out there for my crewing stuff. And we get in the car and we're getting everything set up for the Zoom or whatever. And she's like, and it's the desert. It's like 45 degrees. And my younger sister, who, God love her, is honest to a fault, turns and she's like, you know, you might be cold, but these windows are coming down because you smell. I'm like, that's too bad. We got about another 8 or 9 hours of racing to go. So it's wonderful to be here in person this year. And I always appreciate this opportunity. It's wonderful to hear from Todd because I know I'm going to be speaking to Kentucky NFB. By nature, I'm not particularly motivated by
wise and witty aphorisms that appear on refrigerator magnets. They strike me as being somewhat contrived, and they're warm and fuzzy, but they really don't do anything for me, so I kind of ignore them. And as an example of that, and I really like things where I feel that are more clever, where I have sort of this fake aura of superiority. My favorite T-shirt was one that my niece gave me years ago that said, "I avoid cliches like the plague." I'm also the kind of person who thinks it would be really fun to name a guide dog Killer. So I can't escape the notion that I'm just one of those people. So it's not without some irony that the impetus for today's presentation came from a National Braille Press refrigerator magnet. And as I mentioned a while ago, I really don't like these things. They're clever for about 34 seconds, and then they just become sort of kitschy. On the other hand, my wife, Dawn, who's in the crowd today, loves these things. Dawn is still traumatized from our refrigerator purchase a couple of years ago because we inadvertently got a nickel-plated door, which is repellent to magnets. But it has not stopped her. Her collection of wise and endearing magnets has continued to grow. And earlier this summer, she introduced one to me that, despite my best intentions, I cannot get out of my head. The magnet says, in print and Braille, "Life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself." Despite my best intentions, the saying on this magnet has gone from being amusing and somewhat catchy to downright profound. Finding something represents the end of a mission. I was looking for the podium. You find your phone, you find your keys or your wallet. We look for accessible crosswalk signs so that we don't get squished as we find our way across the street. And if there's not an accessible crosswalk, we go into our bag of orientation mobility tricks and we use our cane skills so that we continue to find our way across the street without getting squished. It's the little things. It seems to me that we as blind people have been placed into a world where we are always expected to find things. We look for our canes. We look for coin slots, bill slots, or credit card slots on the Coke machines. For that matter, we look for the Coke machines. So if there's something that I can eliminate from the plethora of things that I look for, I'm all on board. So for the record, and just to put it out there once and for all, I do not look for me. I am not lost, and neither are you. The elastic and malleable nature of life offers infinitely more possibilities if I stop looking for me. Finding me represents a means to an end. Uh-oh. Okay. Awesome.
I'm sorry. I don't think you can adjust. I don't think I can dim those. I'm sorry. You can turn them off. You keep going, Dave. Sorry.
All right. Sorry, but.
Okay. Hey guys, can we do this later, please? Sensitive people in the center. Okay.
All right. And right here, we're finding a solution. We're always looking for stuff. Whereas if you're creating yourself, it's a much more evolutionary process. It's way more interactive, and it prevents a canvas of endless fascinating possibilities that present few irrevocable conclusions. I'm going to deviate a little bit and tell a couple of stories about my mom. My mom is 90 years old. I call her every night. She lives in Arkansas, and since my dad died a couple years ago, I've called her every night, and our conversations are eclectic and wide-ranging at best. And the other day we're talking and she's like, you'll never guess what I was listening to on Alexa today. And I'm thinking, you're right. I'll never guess what you're listening to on Alexa today. And she says, I was just listening to a little bit of Van Halen. She was trying to remember the names of bands that we as teenagers listened to, and Van Halen was the first one that came to mind, and so it's what she was listening to. And she followed it up with, the lyrics aren't all that good. And I'm like, they're really not in it for the lyrics. It's all about the drugs and the girls. I point this out just to give you a little bit of a flavor of who my mom is for this next story. Back when I was a teenager and growing up in Eastern Arkansas, my brother had an internship in Fort Walton Beach, Florida. And so it was an excuse to go to the Gulf. And so my younger sister, my brother's girlfriend, my mom and I, we all piled into a car and we drove to see my brother in Fort Walton Beach, Florida. And everything went fabulously. On the return trip, I stayed to spend a little bit of extra time with my brother and thus missed an adventure. Knowing my mom, she missed a turn or took too many turns or all of the above while she was talking and not really paying that much attention to where she was going. And by the time she figured out her mistake, she figured out that she was closer to New Orleans than Memphis. And so she was a little bit off track. This was probably greeted with a few choice words on the part of my mom as she realized she was lost. But then she stopped and reflected upon the fact that she'd never been to New Orleans. And neither had anyone else in the car. So they just kept going. Now they weren't lost. They were on an unexpected adventure. And from all accounts, they had a fabulous time. I know. And it's, again, it's creating the moment. About 15 months ago, I became a grand Dave. I love saying that just for the awes. It's worth the whole bit. And leading up to my granddaughter's birth, I got all philosophical and weepy-eyed and became obsessed with just how miraculously complicated and fabulous this whole life journey thing could be. And so I wanted to do something to help my granddaughter. So I tossed a good monkey wrench of self-creation into her future by putting an entry on my calendar for 18 years in the future to take Ellie skydiving. And my son, in recognition of the fact that I was either a fabulous or a thoroughly irresponsible parent, immediately said, "Can I go again?" When he turned 18, we went skydiving under the guise of some weird male bonding ritual. Dawn is sensible and did not want to jump out of a plane several thousand feet above the ground, so we left her home with a supersized pitcher of margaritas and promises of our heroic, triumphant return and stories that would be consummate to the grand deed that we had just accomplished. If you haven't done it, skydiving is one of the most insanely multi-sensory experiences you'll ever experience. I could extol its virtues for hours, but that's really not why I'm here. This is what I refer to as a squirrel. If you're not familiar with the concept of a squirrel, imagine it's a beautiful fall day, just like this one, and you're out with your guide dog. It might be your guide dog. And suddenly you see a squirrel, or your dog sees a squirrel. And what happens? You zoom off into directions that you never thought possible before, and God knows where you're going to end up until you get control of your dog. Squirrel. I'm a squirrel. I hereby launch a campaign to adopt squirrel as the official word of the 2025 Kentucky NFB convention. Squirrel. Whenever you're talking to people and you're going off onto a direction that you weren't previously planning on going to, squirrel. You bet you will. When I was in high school, one of the things that really frustrated me as I got close to graduation is grown-ups kept asking me what I wanted to do with my life, for which I had absolutely no idea. I eventually ended up going, at least temporarily, to a small liberal arts school in Central Arkansas, primarily out of lack of other options. My academic goals were nebulous at best. I had no idea what I wanted to be when I grew up, and I probably still don't. And this probably explains why I happily abandoned my academic pursuits in Arkansas when offered an opportunity to tune pianos in Iceland for a semester. On the way back from Iceland, yeah, squirrel, exactly. And here comes another one. On the way back from Iceland, I spent a few days in New York City with a friend of my mom that I'd never met. For any of you who may know her, it's Kay Farrell. And Kay and I ran around Manhattan and explored all the tourist sites. And at some point, we went to Washington Square Park. And I fell in love with the people strumming guitars, smoking pot, and playing chess in the park, and decided this is where my academic pursuit should continue. New York University surrounded Washington Square Park, so that's where I ended up wanting to go, despite the prohibitive price tag. I knew when I moved to New York on Greyhound that I was going to run out of money. I wouldn't fly, and why I wouldn't fly, I have no idea. It was one of those things, probably just to be difficult as a teenager. Well, and now, and ultimately now I've flown a billion times since then, but yes, it makes no sense. Over the intervening years, I've come to think of that Greyhound ride as when I really shifted from looking for and trying to find myself into trying to create myself. When I got to New York City, I landed a full-time desk receptionist position at NYU that came with 8 hours of tuition remission per semester and summer school. So that's how many classes I took. The job paid me enough that I could get a positively hideous apartment in a questionable area of Jersey City, New Jersey. I took whatever classes would fall under tuition remission, often ate falafels or French fries for breakfast, took trains into work so that I could work every night from midnight to 8. One night wrote an impassioned poem dedicated to several empty cups of coffee after a particularly grueling week, and occasionally got some sleep. The resulting degree is a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Radio and Russian History, which is quite possibly one of the most useless degrees ever invented, but it's uniquely mine. I should point out here that my graduate degree was infinitely more useful, and you do need a graduate degree when you get an undergrad that's a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Radio and Russian History. My master's was in higher education administration, and the sheer usefulness of the degree probably drove me out of the higher ed field after 4 years when I was offered an opportunity to become a director of sales at an assistive tech startup in Northern Virginia. They found me quite literally in a throwaway apartment advertisement newspaper thingy that had one little article to try to get people to read the thing. In 1 month, it was me. They looked me up in the phone book and called and offered me a job as an assistive tech trainer, for which I was not qualified. So I was like, what else do you have? And they were like, well, we need a director of sales. And I'm like, I have no experience doing that. I'll start tomorrow and we'll figure out the salary later on. And it worked out really well. Squirrel. I find in my process of self-creation that I often go up to an invisible line, and then I get curious what's going to happen if I put 1 foot beyond that line. If it's something that I really want, a switch quite literally flips in my head. I can feel it. Something snaps, and in a heartbeat, an idea goes from being a possibility or a dream to a budding reality. The details are often far from complete. There's a good chance I know little to nothing about what I've just decided I'm going to do. A number of you, and as we were talking earlier, I do endurance athletic stuff. And when I decided to do Ironman triathlons, I was seeking a way back from injuries I sustained in a car crash that had seriously damaged 4 vertebrae in my neck. I felt like my cloak of invincibility had been stripped away, and I was desperate to get it back. I was at a conference in Toronto, and a blind dinner companion mentioned that she was speaking the next day about her completion of an Ironman triathlon. She said that it took her 2 years to train for it, so I decided on the spot that she wasn't in that much better shape than me, and it was going to take me 1 year to train for it. For those of you who aren't familiar with an Ironman, it's a race that has a 2.4-mile swim, 112-mile bike ride, and then a full marathon, which is 26.2 miles. my plans for Ironman were missing several key ingredients. For one, I didn't have a guide, and I wasn't really quite sure how to get one. I had no idea how to train for a triathlon, much less an Ironman. I didn't own a tandem bike, and I really didn't know how to swim. I could flail around and not drown, but that was about it. So needless to say, plans for achieving my Ironman dream were somewhat nebulous at best. We could go on talking about how I overcame these plans, which is a whole different conversation and would qualify as a squirrel. I'm okay with not having all the details of a new adventure. I can't wait around until everything is meticulously planned out, or I'd never get anything done. My professional life has been pretty much as quixotic. I've worked for all of the, or most of the major assistive technology companies. I've worked for Humanware, Freedom, Selvus. And on at least 3 occasions, I've been hired for jobs for which I was totally not qualified. This includes my current job as a senior digital accessibility analyst for Hilton Hotels. I got this job quite literally because of tactile buttons on treadmills. Here's how it kind of went. I was an avid runner for during most of my professional career as a sales and training person working for assistive tech companies. And I would travel all over the country and sometimes all over the world. And I discovered during this that Hilton branded hotels had pre-core treadmills with tactile buttons. And all I wanted at the end of the day, after talking to a room full of people or dealing with students or teachers or whatever, was to be able to go to the exercise room and run and get everyone out of my head and sort of come back down. You know what I mean? How you have that sort of high from conferences and stuff like this. And I just needed to get it all out of my head. I didn't need anything else from a treadmill. You wanted me to sleep on a concrete bench? Fine. Just give me my accessible treadmill. Fast forward to 2019. I was in a job that I knew I was going to be leaving soon. Neither they nor I were happy with me. And I'm exhibiting in Chicago. And the director of digital accessibility comes up to my booth and introduces herself to me. And without thinking, I blurt out, "I love your treadmills." And there's this pause afterward. And she's like, "Okay, I'll bite. Why?" And that single interaction led to a number of emails and conversations and dialogues about accessibility of exercise equipment, accessibility of the world around us in general, and sort of drifted off from there. And a couple months later, she strongly suggested that I apply for a digital accessibility analyst position at Hilton. I explained to her that I really had no background in digital accessibility, and she explained that she didn't care. She wanted my experience as a Hilton guest with a disability, and I'd stayed at more Hiltons than all the rest of her team combined, and probably several other departments. And so she would teach the details to me of digital accessibility testing once I was on the job. So I applied, got the job, and here I am. I know, keeps the bills paid. So yay, Hilton. With that being said, things don't always go as you plan for them to, or as I like to think of them. They don't go as I planned yet. A number of you know that I tried to complete Race Across America in 2024. This is a 3,000-mile race that starts at the Pacific Coast, winds through the deserts of California and Arizona into Utah. You go through the Rockies. You go through the plains of Kansas. You end up going through Ohio, West Virginia, through the Appalachians, and you finish up in Atlantic City, New Jersey. You get 12 days to finish this thing. So you end up riding about 280, 300 miles a day, and you get maybe 4 hours of sleep a night, if you're lucky. The original idea for this came from a swimming companion who randomly asked if I was interested in this race. And of course, I had never heard of this race, and it sounded awful. So it became my next project. And a number of things went into getting ready for this. The training, over the next 18 months, starting on January 1 of 2023, I started riding 6 days a week. I rode a total of, I was well over 14,000 miles of riding. I found a tandem cyclist who was willing to be my guide. He had completed this. I found him on the internet, as proof you can find anything on the internet. He had completed this race twice before, and also loved tandem bikes, and so he became my guide. I recruited a crew of 8 people who took care of Jim and me along the way. Everything from feeding us to finding places where we could pull over and sleep comfortably in the back of a truck for a couple of hours and then hop back on the bike and keep going. I recruited sponsors to help with some of the prohibitive costs that were involved in this. So it was quite, and through it all, I have to say that Dawn was incredibly patient and has always been incredibly patient when I come up with really bad squirrel ideas. So after an 18-month training cycle, and after all the preparations, it was showtime. And then nothing went as planned. We started out fine. We rode through California into Arizona, Utah. The temperature in California got up to about 121 degrees, real temperature. A couple days later, we were riding across the Continental Divide, almost 11,000 feet up in elevation, and there's still snow on the ground. Jim and I made it 1,197 miles on the Race Across America course until at the bottom of an innocuous hill close to the Kansas-Colorado border, everything fell apart. The reasons for this are incredibly painful, and despite the fact that it's been years ago, are still raw and will be a source of pain and regret for the rest of my life. There are a myriad of reasons on why we only went a third of the way to our goal, but it can be summed up in that I didn't know enough to realistically have a plan to finish this race. I literally didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't have the requisite knowledge or experience to finish this race, and so I didn't. I'm proud of the fact that I've ridden further on that course than any other solo blind tandem cyclist. There have been people who've done it as relays, but I've covered more miles on that course than any other blind tandem cyclist. But that wasn't the mission. We only made it a little over 1/3 of our way through the Race Across America. I can live with not making it, but what I can't live with is the knowledge that I didn't have a plan in place that really gave me a clear shot at making it. I want to give everything my absolute best shot, which is why we're trying this again in 2027. It would have been 2026 conceivably, except that I had knee surgery over the summer and I lost too much training time, and absolutely nothing is going to be condensed about this training cycle. I do have races coming up. I have a race next weekend that is 1 week from today. I'll be huffing and puffing through the deserts of California, praying for 5 p.m. so that I can quit riding. This summer, I'm going to do a race. It's called Race Across the East that starts in Ohio and goes to the Appalachians and ends up in New Jersey. So by the time I try Race Across America again in 2027, it'll have been a 4.5-year process. So what does this all have to do with you? I'm here to advocate that you celebrate and embrace life's squirrels. Life squirrels materialize in the most unusual places and at times when you're not expecting them. But when they happen, and when you're presented with an opportunity and it's something that you want, something that you really, really want and that you can't live without, grab that squirrel, throw yourself into it and give it everything you've got and make it happen. And if it doesn't happen initially, try again. The whole concept of squirrels are at the core of the idea of self-creation. So make the most of those moments. Take advantage of every moment you have here at Kentucky NFB. Talk to each other, listen to each other, learn from each other. You're going to hear a lot of stories that involve squirrels. you probably have a few of your own. Celebrate those squirrels and enjoy the ride and have an absolutely fabulous conference. Thank you all very much. Squirrel! I do have cards that are really cool that came from Clovernook that have a QR code that take you to my Facebook page, and it says QR where we have the QR code, which I thought was nice and blind friendly. So if you're interested in a card, I'll leave some up front on the podium. You can grab them later on. My email address is dave@speedyturtle.net. Feel free to shoot me an email. Would love to have you follow us on Facebook. Send positive vibes for me to come back from the desert. And I'll see you next year. Door prize.
Dave. As a thank you.
Okay.
Dave.
Do what? Oh, thank you.
As a thank you, this
Oh.
is a koozie with the NFB logo on the front.
Oh, my
And it says
heavens.
NFB in Braille on the back, and there's a gift card inside it.
Oh, thank
So
you.
thank you so much.
Thank you all very much. That's very sweet.
Thank you.
For those of you who didn't hear that, it's a cozy with a gift card, and the cozy has NFB in Braille. This will be on a thermal coffee cup next week when I take a break to get caffeine in the morning during the race. So thank you all very much.
Jacob, did I hear door prize? Ooh. Kathy, while they're doing that, can you come up here?
And the cane points to Douglas Larson, winner of the door prize.
Did you say Kathy or Katie? Did you say Kathy or Katie? Huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess still.
Brian Hayden, are you in the room?
Did you say Kathy or Katie?
This door prize goes to Clyde, Maine. They've won the door prize.
Hold on a second, I gotta go get it. Okay.
That makes sense. There is a quick adjustment to your agenda. So this morning, we're actually going to go ahead and vote on one of our resolutions. We will do the second one tomorrow during our business meeting. But due to scheduling, we are going to do one of them today. When Ashley comes back in the room, we will have Kathy read it. This is a resolution that we are wanting to present in person today. So that is why we are doing a schedule change.
And don't worry when I say this 26th day of October, because that is actually the date that it will officially be entered into the records. So we know it's the 25th all day long.
Yep, today is Kathy's birthday.
Oh, did you?
Yes!
Oh, you oughta-
Happy birthday!
Yeah, you already sang to me this morning. That's good enough. Thank you.
Hey, Jacob, do you want to give another door
Yeah.
prize while we wait? Yes.
You gotta be on top of it, Jacob. Oh, I love this microphone. This is cool.
We have a cup, an umbrella, a wall plug smelly thing.
A little panda, okay.
Congratulations to Priya Patel, who won the door
Oh, okay.
prize.
Yeah, Priya. All right. All right. Are we ready?
Good morning.
Charlie Martin has me continue. I just wanted to check if that's still significant or is that?
Yeah, he's right now.
Okay. Are we ready? All right. Whereas since 2017, the Hilton Garden Inn Louisville Northeast has provided an outstanding venue for the National Federation of the Blind of Kentucky, NFBK, to host our annual state convention. And whereas the dedicated hotel staff have consistently been courteous, professional, and eager to assist constantly willing to accommodate our logistic needs for room accommodations, setup, tear down, catering, and meal service, and have remained readily available to answer questions and resolve issues as they arise. And whereas their support extends well beyond convention weekend to include year-round planning for the next convention, including contract review and negotiation, striving to provide the most favorable rates and terms possible with responsive communication. Now therefore be it resolved by the National Federation of the Blind of Kentucky and convention assembled this 26th day of October 2025 in the city of Louisville, Kentucky, that we hereby express our sincere gratitude and recognition to the entire staff of the Hilton Garden Inn Louisville Northeast for their steadfast professionalism and exemplary service. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be presented to the management and staff of the Hilton Garden Inn Louisville Northeast and entered into the official record of this convention. Now, there we go. Here, all right. The committee recommends to pass.
Do I have any discussion from the floor? Okay, the motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor of adopting this resolution, sorry, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Wonderful, resolution passes.
All right.
Brian,
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to present this to you.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much.
It is our pleasure to serve
Oh.
you guys every year. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Would you like to say anything?
Sure. I've been at this property since 2017. I have just been one small cog in the entire machine that is our property. And we love having you guys. So we don't deserve any recognition, but I thank you so very much for giving it to us. And there are times in our side of the business where we don't necessarily, we get a lot of complaints. We don't get a lot of thank yous. So thank you very much for saying that to us. We really appreciate it. And I'll be sure to pass this along to the entire staff.
You all absolutely deserve it. We truly appreciate
I
you.
Thank you
remember
very
working
much.
with you and Mark.
Yes, ma'am.
Bracelets.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
When I had to do all this. Now it's somebody else.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
I would now like to invite Charlie from Good Maps. Again, Good Maps is one of our convention sponsors this year, along with TLQ Vending. So we are very appreciative to both of our sponsors this year. And if Charlie could come join us, he's going to tell us all about Good Maps. Well, he was just here.
You want another door prize?
Yeah.
We just have to jump in.
Let's get another door prize while we wait.
We have a bag of like body care stuff. It smells like sugar cookie sprinkles.
Ooh.
Body wash, a body butter, and yeah. Thank you. Oh, and a $10 Grader's gift card. All right, baby.
All Canes point to Stephanie Davis, winner of the door prize.
Draw again.
Give it up for Karen Main, who has won the door prize.
Is Charlie Meredith still in the room? Come on up, sir.
Thank you. All right, good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing? It's a lovely, crisp fall morning here in Louisville. So I hope everybody's enjoying it's very I would say, Halloween themed weather here. Anyone here from Louisville? Yes? Okay, great. So I'm Charlie Meredith. I'm actually from Western Kentucky, Muhlenberg County. Anybody from that part of the state, around Bowling Green, Owensboro? Yeah, okay, got a couple. Cool. So I'm here to talk to you all about good maps. So we had someone here yesterday at the exhibit hall. Did anyone get a chance to try good maps by a show of hands? Yes, okay, a few. Great, great. Were you able to use it to get around the hotel lobby and all of that? Were you able to try it here? Yeah, okay, good, good, awesome. So I'm going to tell you all a little bit about the history of good maps, how it started, and how it works, as well as leave plenty of time for Q&A at the end, because I often find sometimes the Q&A can kind of get cut short. So I'll try to leave plenty of time to ask questions. And hopefully by the end of this, everyone in this room, if you have an iOS or an Android phone, will be convinced to download Good Maps from the App Store. It's a totally free app, and give it a whirl. Try it out here. We have all of the lobby maps. You can get throughout the lobby to the restrooms, to all of the convention rooms. And it's a great tool that we're happy to have here. So, like I said, my name is Charlie Meredith. I'm the Chief Technology Officer at Good Maps. And I was actually hired as the first full-time programmer just a little over 6 years ago. So I started in July of 2019. That was back when we only had 4 employees. Now we're just shy of 30. So I've definitely seen some growth and some new faces come and go over the last several years. And I moved into the Chief Technology Officer role in 2023. So Good Maps was started by American Printing House. So they actually in 2019 started, or actually 2018, started Good Maps. They had had some research done in their kind of technical department, trying to solve the very, very difficult problem of indoor navigation. And furthermore, not just indoor navigation, but how do we navigate people who are blind or visually impaired with a very high level of accuracy, to the point where you could go into an airport, use our app, and actually get your hand on the door to a restroom, or to your gate at the airport, or to the ticket counter or the checkout counter of a retail store. So that was what we were trying to do. So they said, you know, we think we have something here. They had done some R&D, and they decided to spin that out into its own company, which is what at the time was called Access Explorer. So fun fact, Good Maps was previously called Access Explorer, and we changed our name a couple of years later. And again, the goal was to solve indoor navigation for people who are blind or visually impaired. So the first try we took at that in 2019, we were using Bluetooth beacons and Wi-Fi fingerprinting. And if you're not familiar with what a Bluetooth beacon is, it's a little device, maybe about the size of your hand, and you install it up on the ceilings or on columns, and it takes a lot of them for any sort of indoor navigation to work. So we started with that idea. The problem was that they're not very accurate. They have about 3 to 5 meters of accuracy, 15 feet or so, which when you're trying to navigate someone who's blind, that's not very good, right? So that did not quite get the job done. The other issue is that as we were trying to sell Good Maps and convince building owners to install Good Maps in their building, no one wants to install beacons. They have a short battery life. You have to replace them every few years. Sometimes they fall off the walls, and they're also just not very sightly. So, they're kind of a big little plaque on the wall that's kind of stuck there. So no one wanted to deal with beacons. That just wasn't appetizing to building owners, and it was oftentimes a non-starter. People weren't even, willing to have the conversation when they knew that we had beacons. So we decided to pivot, and at the time, I think this was around 2020, we started to look into computer vision models. And so we found a service where we could actually take a scan of a building and train a computer vision model to let us have a user download an app and use their camera, and only their camera, to get pinpointed within a meter of their location, which was sort of unprecedented accuracy at the time. And so we ran with that, we tested it, we had really, really good success, and we decided this is something we actually need to build for ourselves. So we spent the next 2 years, over 2021 through 2023, building our own computer vision model that we launched in 2023. And that is what we use today. So the way it works is we go into a building, we bring a handheld scanner. It kind of looks like a big Stanley bottle or a big thermos. So you can hold it with your hand. It only takes one person. And they walk throughout the building. The scanner is collecting images, and then we use that to train an AI model. And with that AI model, you can then go back into the building and, like I said, use your camera. And this time with our model, you can actually get pinpointed within 25 centimeters, so within about a foot. So it's industry leading accuracy, and it's something that we're really, really proud of. And it's unlocked really the level of navigation that we sought out to do in 2019. So that was sort of the initial technology build out. And going backwards a little bit, back to 2020 when we were using that original computer vision model, we launched an app called Good Maps Explore. Has anybody used Good Maps Explore in this room? Anybody familiar with that? Okay. If you still have that app on your phone, you can safely delete that app because it's no longer supported. And frequently we find that people still have it and they haven't actually upgraded to the new app. So if you do have Good Maps Explore, go download, well, first of all, delete Good Maps Explore, and then go download the new Good Maps app on the App Store, which is called Good Maps Indoor Navigation. So that old app, Explore, was the first app that we released, and it was made really just for blind and low vision users. And so we tailored the app, we tailored the user experience to navigate people who are blind and low vision. And we started to get good success. We started to test with blind and low vision users, and we realized, hey, this thing actually works really well for anybody. And so we decided to rework that app, rework the user experience, and actually kind of rebuild it from scratch to work for not only people who are blind and low vision, but people who have hearing loss, people who have low mobility, people who are neurodiverse, or people who don't have any reported disability, but as we like to say, are just directionally challenged and have trouble navigating airports. So, you know, it's kind of the classic curb cut effect, right? You create something for a group that needs it, and then you find that it actually has a much wider use case. So that's when we started on the brand new app that is what we have on the App Store today. It's called Good Maps Indoor Navigation. And we built that for all of those groups. So we built it for blind and low vision. That's core to our mission. We're never going to not have that built in, but we also built it for people with hearing loss, mobility, neurodiverse, and like I said, directionally challenged. And so we rebuilt that app from scratch. And we also involved users in that research process. So we have, over the last couple of years, tested with over 200 users, people who are blind, people who are low vision, and then all of the groups that I just described. And really, with the user groups that we've tested with, they have influenced the app. And I don't know, there may even be people in this room, I'm curious, raise your hand if so, if you've ever participated in one of our focus groups. Okay, I see one. Okay, I see two, three. Okay, awesome. I love that. So great. So you're part of the exclusive 200 who've really influenced how the app came to be. So what those look like is typically we will bring 10 to 15 people on site in one of the buildings that we support. We'll have a moderated guide. So we'll walk people through what we would think a typical usage would look like. So maybe the first thing you try to do is get to I don't know, your ticket counter at the airport, or maybe the first thing you try to do is get to security. And then we'll have them do that. And then we'll have them go maybe to the restroom, maybe to a shop. And so all of this is using the app, and we try to be as uninvolved as possible. So if you participate in one of our focus groups, we may let you get very close to running into something, but you know, if you're going to hurt yourself, we'll stop. But we try not to interfere, so that way we can test whether the app is actually solving the goal, which is to help people navigate independently, right? Because we wouldn't be there in a real use case. And so doing that, we've learned a lot. Everything we've done has, like I said, been very, very research driven through those focus groups. And through that, we've made many, many iterations over the last couple of years. And our next release for the app is actually scheduled here in a couple of weeks with some further improvements. So how does the app experience feel? So if you were to download the app today, and I think I saw a couple of people downloading it as I speak, awesome, love it. So if you download it today, what it's going to do is it's going to ask you to check into a building. So when you first launch the app, it'll ask you if you're at the Hilton Garden Inn, because that's the closest building to you. You would check in. It'll take you through a couple of tutorials. I encourage going through those tutorials, or if you want to, I'll hang out after this. You can find me and I can show you how to use it as well, and you can skip the tutorials. I'm happy to do that. But it is kind of a weird experience because, again, it's computer vision based. So it's unlike GPS, because GPS does not have the level of accuracy we need indoors. And it's unlike any other navigation experience you probably used because it is camera focused. So it's going to ask you to hold your camera up. It's going to ask you to scan your environment. And that's what lets us get that level of accuracy. So you'll check into the Hilton Garden Inn. It'll walk you through those tutorials. It'll teach you how to do the scanning process. And then you can use a couple of the features in the app. So one of the features we have, it's called Look Around. That's a feature where if you enter it, it won't navigate you turn by turn. It'll announce what's around you. So as you pan and scan your phone, it'll say restroom 30 feet ahead, or I didn't catch the name of the room that we're in, but I see Twin Spires across the hall. So it'll say Twin Spires 20 feet ahead. So it'll try to announce to you what's nearby. So that is if you were trying to sort of explore or discover, if maybe you were in an airport, you didn't know what shops were around you, what restaurants were around you, you could use the look around feature to discover all of that. And then there's the turn-by-turn feature. So if you launch into the app and then you go into the directory or you go to the search, you can search for specific destinations. You could search for registration. You could search for men's restroom and start a route, and it'll start to guide you with that level of accuracy, actually turn by turn to that destination. So that's sort of the flagship feature. That's where if you were to go to one of our bigger locations, for example, we have the Louisville airport mapped. You could use that feature to navigate the entire airport, all the way from, if you landed, you can navigate from your gate all the way to your Lyft or your Uber pickup. So here is sort of a small demo to kind of get the feel of things. But if you go out into one of our buildings, which I'll talk about here in a second, the buildings that we have mapped, you'll be able to get that sort of full experience. So that's the app. Like I said, I would love it if everyone, if you have an iOS or an Android device, please download it, try it out here. Let me know your feedback. We really look for people who are in the blind and low vision community to not only give us feedback, but also to advocate for it, because we are growing. But the more people we have who are saying, hey, to your local airport, have you heard about Good Maps? It's a great service. I used it. It works. It's something you should really consider. That helps us so much when we go out and try to convince buildings that they should invest in this as a service. Because again, it's free to the end user. We never plan to charge for anyone who downloads the app. It's going to be free. It's really the building owners who we ask to invest to do the initial mapping and onboarding. So on that note, how does a building come online? So what we do is we try to convince airports. We work with a lot of airports. We work with a lot of rail stations. We worked with museums, college, universities. We convince them that this is a service that can help the community, but also help users at large, right? We just did a big launch at JCTC here in Louisville, and they used it for all of their new incoming students this fall semester to get used to the campus. And we had a really positive reception. And there were several blind and low vision users in that group, but also students who had no reported disability were using it and really liked it as a service. So we convince a building that this is something that can help solve accessibility needs, but also help people who are coming into their facility. And assuming that they sign on with us, we send one of our surveyors. So using that thermos-like device that I mentioned earlier, we'll send someone to the building. It usually takes about a day, or really just as long as it takes to walk through the space, for them to go into the building, and they take the scan, and it's collecting all of those images, and it's collecting a point cloud. And then that comes back to our team. So then our team takes that scan and they turn it into a very, very detailed map. So one of the things that sets us apart from other mapping providers is, some of the other maps, you'll get a very generalized map where sort of the walls will be smoothed. Maybe it doesn't have every single column, every single fixture. We map down to, like, if we were to map this room, all of these tables that are in this room would be mapped, because we need that level of detail in order to prevent people who are blind from walking through the tables, right? We don't want to navigate you through the tables. So that's like I said, something that really sets us apart is we do map to that level of detail. So every column, every counter, if there's a physical installation of something, it will be in our map. And that's what the LiDAR scanning lets us do. So we'll scan the building, we'll create the map, we'll tag the map. So we'll also add every single destination. So in airports, we'll tag ATMs, we'll tag all of the ticket counters, all of the car rental counters, all of the gates, all of the restaurants, the shops, the restrooms, anything that you could potentially navigate to or interact with, we'll tag and it'll show up in the directory. And then we launch it. So frequently we'll bring the building online. We'll do a big launch event. We just had one at Nashville Airport, which we just brought online. We're very proud of that. And so, So we'll do a launch event. We'll engage the community. We'll try to get people from local blind and low vision communities to come and test it and give us feedback, and also tell the airport whether it's working well or not for them. Typically those go pretty smoothly and we have very, very good reception. And so then it's available for anyone to use. So some of the buildings that we have, we've really seen a lot of growth this year in the airport space. So we now have over 30 airports. I think we're about to be closer to 40 in the United States. So we have the Louisville Airport here. We just launched the Nashville Airport, South Bend, Indiana, Portland International Airport, Austin Airport, among several others. We're about to launch Cincinnati. We have pilots at DFW. We also have pilots abroad at Rome, Milan, and Heathrow, among several others. So we're very quickly growing to more and more airports, and that's amazing, right? Because if anyone here who here travels, who here flies frequently? Yep. So we would love if every single stop you have, if you have a layover or if you're just flying from one airport to another, if all of those were Good Maps enabled, and you could use Good Maps to get around and to find what's around you and to not have to worry once you get there about trying to find passenger assist or, dealing with that whole thing. We find frequently that people would prefer to use Good Maps over passenger assist just because it's faster, it lets you navigate independently, and you don't have to kind of wait around. So other buildings that we also have quite a bit of Museum Row here in Louisville mapped. So if you go to the Fraser History Museum, if you go to the Kentucky Science Center, those are mapped. I think we are talking to the Evan Williams experience. So there's a few others that we're hoping to bring online. We just launched, like I said, all of the JCTC campus, and we're having really good success there. And then we have in total, over 300 buildings across the world in 12 countries. And we also have over 20 supported languages. So that's another benefit that we find building owners are interested in, is not only can we target people who are blind or low vision, people who have low hearing, but also if someone is a non-native English speaker or a non-native speaker to whatever language is locale, we can support that as well. So we're very proud of what we've built, and we're hoping to continue to expand. It's, we're still a startup, very much so. I mean, we're still, gritty and trying to make quick decisions and pivot quickly based on the feedback that we get. And so our roadmap is ever evolving, but we really try to listen to the community and try to listen to our customers as well on what they're interested in and what is most helpful. We have a small team, so we're always trying to focus on the things that we think will make the biggest impact. So that's all I have. Like I said, I wanted to kind of leave it open for some Q&A, or if you want to, I'll stick around, and if you want to come get a demo, or if you want to come learn how to use the app, I'd be happy to show you. So I'll probably hang out by the back left toward the entrance. And so if you want to come find me afterwards, I'll stick around for a little bit and help anybody out. But any questions that I can answer about Good Maps? Yes, here in the front. Yes. So the question was, how do we know which buildings are available in Good Maps? So if you launch the app, if there are any buildings near you, you'll see them on the home screen. But if you're not near a building, you'll probably see there are no buildings near you. And then you can scroll down to, there's a button called Explore All Buildings. And if you tap that, it'll show you the full list. And I believe that that list is sorted by distance. So the things that are closest, even if it's like a state away, is the closest thing. You'll see those. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Has this app been utilized to map any type of a restaurant or retail establishment?
Yes. So question was if we've mapped any restaurants or retail establishments. So we have not mapped restaurants, but we have over in the UK done a pilot with Asda, which is a grocery store, kind of similar to Kroger here. So we've done a pilot at some Asdas. We haven't fully expanded into retail because the main problem there is their inventory is constantly changing where it's located. And so for our maps to stay up to date, we really need some sort of data from them to be able to maintain that. Because if the can of beans moves 3 aisles over one day, just because that's what they tend to do for some reason, our maps would suddenly become out of date. So retail is tricky, but it's one that we want to expand into because that would be really helpful.
I was just thinking like the carts or the permanent fixtures. Yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
the cart rack, the service counter.
Yes.
That kind of stuff. The ATM, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely agree with you. And the Asda stores work well. So I hope that we continue to expand in retail.
Hold on, we got a mic.
Wait a minute.
Danielle.
Danielle.
Thank you. I actually have two quick questions. I'm not sure if I had the right version of the app because I had the original.
Okay.
Is it the one that's called Explore?
No, so that's the old one. So that one you can delete.
That was what my problem was. Okay.
Yes, that one you can delete. The new one, if you go to the App Store, if you just search Good Maps, it should show up, but it's the full name of it on the App Store. It says Good Maps Indoor Navigation. So that's how you'll know you've got the right one.
Okay. And one more question. If we wanted to do have you guys done like malls or anything?
Yes, actually, that's a great question. So we have done malls. We have a mall chain in Canada that we have a pilot with, and we're hoping that they will continue to expand. And we've talked to a couple here in the States, but malls are one that it works great at. Like it works really, really well at malls. So we have a couple of malls, not as many as I would like.
I have a question.
All right.
Got Todd's next, please.
Okay.
I have a question about other hotels in the city.
Mm-hmm.
We are having a Kentucky Enterprise blind meeting scheduled for November,
Mm-hmm.
and it is at the Hyatt.
Okay.
And I'm wondering if you have mapped the Hyatt, and if not, what are the chances that we can get that done?
Is that the Hyatt Regency at 320 West Jefferson?
Yes.
Do you know? Yes, we have that one mapped.
Perfect. Great.
Yep.
Thank you.
Who was next?
Oh no, you gave me a microphone.
It
Yes,
feels
it was.
powerful, doesn't it? You just wield it.
I'm mad with power. So how would you go about convincing a establishment to be part of the Good Maps team?
Good question. So we actually have an advocacy page on our website. So I think it's goodmaps.com/advocacy, or if you just go to goodmaps.com, it's at the very bottom of the main page. You can click on advocacy, and there's some sort of templates that you can use to send to them. But also, I would point to all of the success we've had with the current airports, and on our LinkedIn page. We're very active on LinkedIn, not so much on like Instagram and the other ones, but if you follow us on LinkedIn, we constantly post testimonials of people who have used it. And in my opinion, the testimonials kind of speak for themselves. And we, like at Good Maps, we've often watched them and like gotten teary-eyed because it's people who are saying, I've never been able to do this before on my own, and it's amazing. So we'll send those out and say, look, this is something that can really help people. And also, again, it doesn't just help people who are blind or low vision. It helps everyone, anyone who has trouble navigating. So and our team is also happy to help make that case as well if you reach out to us.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. Here.
One of the difficulties in all of this is that when you're going through airports or going through malls, et cetera, you have to take up a hand to hold the phone.
Mm-hmm.
You get something where it straps around your neck and attaches to your body or whatever.
Yes.
Is Good Maps looking at how to interface with wearables, your
Yes.
smart glasses, and all that kind of stuff?
Absolutely. So I get this question a lot, and it's top of mind for me. So there is a solution today. It's a little bit of a brute force kind of crude method, but there are lanyards that you can get around your neck, and one of them I think is called the Nava Pal or Navibadge. We have one at our office that we've tested with. So they do make pouches that you can hang around your neck. You can put your phone in, and it has like a little window that the camera can see through. So we've had some people do that for the current solution, but when it comes to wearables, we are ready as soon as Meta opens up their SDK to build on the Meta platform. Right now, their platform is totally locked down. Be My Eyes has been able to work with them because they kind of have a special relationship. But as of right now, Meta has not opened it up to third-party developers like us, but they just opened up a waiting list to be able to do that, which we obviously signed up for as soon as that was available. And sort of the moment that they allow us to build for their platform, that's top of mind, because we get that all the time, and it's a reasonable question, right? Because it is kind of annoying having to hold your phone up. But the good news is that our technology was made with that in mind. Like, our technology was very future facing, thinking that wearables would be more popular. So we're ready to go. We're ready to do it as soon as they let us. Yeah. Yes. Just playing heads up all the time.
Okay, I'm
Okay, great. Someone has a NaviPal in the audience.
I'm
Great.
coming, Karen.
So mine's a kind of a two-part. Have you had businesses or buildings decline if you've approached them to allow you all to use to do Good Maps? And if so, what's the main concern?
The main concern is budget. So, I mean, we're a business. We have to sustain ourselves, right? So that's where our revenue comes from, is charging building owners to implement. And it's usually either a budget constraint. Sometimes they'll say our budget for the year is, we don't have any room, come back next year. Sometimes they'll go with other mapping providers. We've had, there are other mapping providers out there that say they're accessible, but really what that means is that they can do like wheelchair-based routes. They call that accessible navigation. Obviously, we think of that very differently. And so sometimes they'll just go with a different mapping provider who has a different bell and whistle that they want other than us. So it's a matter of, I would say, budget, and then also them comparing us to other providers who maybe, like I said, have something that we don't have.
Anyone else raise your hand, or a little audio? I can't see in the dark back here.
Yes. So we have a great relationship with Seattle Sound Transit. We're about to deploy their entire system. So all of their rail stations are going to be mapped, and you can use Good Maps to navigate all of the Sound Transit Seattle station. We just did a pilot with St. Louis Transit, and so we're hoping that will expand. So yes, we've done rail. We haven't done so much bus systems, just because the bus stops are a little bit more difficult to map, although we have a solution that we're hoping to roll out next year for that. And then in the UK, we have all of their major national rail stations mapped. So King's Cross, Paddington Station, all of the UK stations are mapped. So yes, we've definitely done work in public transit. Mhm. So in all of our, did you say lift stations?
Yeah, some places have certain areas that have lift. And, like at the airport, the mall, and all that other stuff, because they couldn't tell us when we were in Las Vegas where the lift pickup thing was.
That we do. If it's part of a building we've mapped, like for example at the Louisville airport, we have all of the Lyft and Uber stations mapped. And then if we were to do somewhere at Las Vegas, like whatever building that's attached to, ideally we would also map that building, because you're probably going to start in the building and try to go to your Lyft station. And so yes, we've definitely done that before. Nashville Airport also will actually take you into the garage, because I think their Lyft stations are inside of the garage. So we've done that before, and it works really well.
I have one more question. Hang on, here I come. This is Cheyenne. Yes, it is. Thank you. So, if you did King's Cross, did you successfully get platform 9 3/4?
Oh yes, absolutely. 100% that is in our map.
I'm sorry I had to do it.
The line is always very long though.
Who was the employee you had run headlong at the wall?
I mean, definitely. I mean, that's the thing, right? There's like a little photo out there. It's actually a lot more corporate than you would expect. There's like a gift shop. But yes, we've definitely got, I asked the same thing whenever we first mapped it. I went to the map and I was like, surely platform 9 3/4 is here.
Was there someone else? Sandra.
Within the next year, Louisville is going to be operating our transit system in a bit different way, and we will be having I don't know what it's called, transfer hub or something to that effect in the downtown area. It's right in the middle of downtown. Now, do you all map that kind of thing? Since it's going to be a whole learning curve for blind and low vision individuals riding the bus, I didn't know if you did that sort of thing.
Yes, that's actually very similar to the pilot we did at St. Louis. I believe it's the Civic Center is what it's called, but that's kind of like the hub where a train comes, and then there's also all of the different bus lines come to the Civic Center, and you can get on any of the buses. So we've done that one, and that worked really well. So yes, absolutely, we would be able to do something like that.
So if someone from the Transit Authority wished to contact you all, they could just do that on your page or something?
Yes, and I can also give you my card, which does not have Braille on it, unfortunately, but it does have a QR code.
No, that's okay. I'll take it. Thank you.
I wish I had Braille cards, but unfortunately I don't.
Anyone else?
Here I come.
I'm going to say, how much does that cost? Is there any way to even remotely get a ballpark?
So it depends on the square footage. I would say it's somewhere for the initial onboarding, somewhere between like $3,000 to $8,000.
Well, that's not bad at all.
It's not crazy. It's not tens of thousands of dollars. If it's like 1 million square foot building, it might be above 10,000, but I don't think what we're talking about is above.
If you're familiar with Louisville, it's 8th and Ollie, where like the current Greyhound station is.
I don't think I know. I'm not sure where that is. I can't picture it.
It's not.
Anyone else? Okay.
Awesome. Okay, well, yeah, I'll come give a couple of cards to a couple of people who ask questions, and then I will hang out in the back left. I know we have only got like 7 minutes until the next session, so but if anyone has any further questions or wants to come catch me one-on-one, I'll be in the back left of the room. And thank you all so much for listening and all the great. This is why I always like to save room for Q&A, because I love the questions. So thank you all.
Thank you so much, Charlie. I greatly appreciate you. Yeah, absolutely. And I just have a small token of our thank you. It's a koozie with a gift
I
card.
love it. I love a koozie. I have one right now in my coffee cup.
Awesome.
You got to keep one with you at all.
You do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And can we give another round of applause for Good Maps for being our convention sponsor? Thank you. Our next presentation, can I get Corey Markham up here and the panel, please? We will have our Kentucky. Yep, that'd be great. So our next presenters will be from Kentucky Business Enterprises and our talk about the pre-ETS transition program as well as the vending program. Okay, Amelia says the door prize is a cornbread pan.
The lucky winner of the door prize is Eddie Driscoll.
Draw again.
Stand up and give us a little shimmy if your name is Otis Florence. You've won the door prize.
Can I get Todd, Lynn, Buster, and Corey up to the mic, please? Okay. Hey, Jacob and Amelia, go ahead and do one more while they're still making their way up here.
Yes.
In this panel.
Okay. It's,
So.
And the cane points to Hallie Adams, winner of the door prize.
Draw again.
This door prize goes to Benjamin Henderson.
Ooh, what do
They've
you
won
win?
the door prize.
Oh, he's not in here. Does his wife count? No, I'm kidding.
Congratulations to JP Pullins, who won the door prize.
She's moderating, so she's going to be FB. Yes. Well, I'm not moderating.
So you need to see that.
Yes. So Corey's first. Yeah.
Okay, our next speaker is Corey Markham with Kentucky Business Enterprises and the Pre-Education Transition Program. I think I said that wrong.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
It's close enough. Hi, guys. My name is Corey Markham. I am the Division Director for Kentucky Business Enterprise, which is the blind vending program for those that do not know. Just wanted to give you all a few updates on what's going on across the state and ways we've tried to improve blind vendors' lives.
Hey, Corey.
Yes.
Would you mind just starting and letting them know? Because I think a lot of the audience may not know what our program is.
Okay. The blind vending program is based in the Randolph-Shepard Act. We run vending and food service in state and federal buildings. So if you've ever stopped at a rest area and grabbed a Coke or a Snickers bar, you're doing business with a blind individual, whether you know that or not. So that's probably the most prominent sites that people interact with, and they don't know it. But we also operate in state and federal buildings, and we feed the troops at Fort Knox and Fort Campbell. Those are our largest operations. So Kentucky has 28 vendors across the state that operate in those federal and state buildings. Kind of some new things that we've gotten into over the last year. And one of the things I'm most proud of is we are the first business enterprise program in the country to start collegiate dining. So we've become the food service provider at Kentucky State University. So that was a new opportunity for a blind vendor to operate outside of our traditional state and federal buildings. Even though it is a state college, it is outside of our normal, and that'll provide opportunities for a blind entrepreneur. One thing we did new this summer is we partnered with the OVR's Pre-EDS program to provide blind youth job experiences through the summer. And that was a great program. We had 8 kids participate in that program, and Todd was able to host one of those kids. That costs nothing to the host location. Everything's sponsored by the state, and it provides a blind youth the opportunity to get work experience through the summer in a real world setting. Again, I want to thank Todd, and we also had another youth at Fort Knox with Lynn and Buster there that worked there helped feeding the troops, which was a great thing. His dad worked on base, so it worked out very well. Another thing we're doing, and it happens in November, is we are having our first ever Blind Youth Entrepreneurship Summit for 3 days. So if you've got a youth in your life that would be interested in becoming an entrepreneur and just wanting to learn about not only blind vending, but also about entrepreneurship as a whole, please see me sometime today and we can get arrangements for them to attend. We've got national speakers from across the country that are not only Randolph Shepherd vendors, but they're also entrepreneurs from across the country and speakers. Our keynote speaker is Kyle Kuhn, which is a blind Paralympian. He'll be there on Wednesday, but it will talk about everything about entrepreneurship, why it's important, the values of it, to things as simple as why it's important to dress for success. I mean, we try to encompass all different parts of what makes entrepreneurship important, but why it's important to represent yourself. And another exciting announcement is we are the first SLA in the country, which is a state licensing agency, to operate a Hunt Brothers pizza franchise. So we started into franchising locations for our host locations. And those are at the Hall of Justice in Louisville and Gateway IRS Center in Northern Kentucky, which belong to Brad and Todd. So we're very excited about those. Those provide a quick, casual, hot food option for locations that previously either needed a hot food option or needed some speed of service with more of a grab and go option. So if you're familiar with Hunt Brothers, those are your convenience style pizza locations that you'll see across the country, or Rupp Arena. That's probably your most yeah. Yeah, of course, you know I'm going to mention Rupp Arena. That's probably your most prominent location that has it. But again, if you've got any questions about Randolph Shepherd vending, please see me. It's the greatest program in the world for a blind or visually impaired person that wants to be an entrepreneur. And what people fail to recognize is it is a program dedicated specifically to the blind. That is the only disability group that we work with. So that makes it very special and very unique to this population. So please, if you've got any questions about it, please see me before the day's over with. I'll be glad to take any questions.
Yeah, go ahead, Laura. It's right ahead. Right. Okay, there it is. Okay. Trying to figure out where the mic is. To your right. To the right. Okay. Okay. Can y'all? Okay. Sorry. All right. So thank you, Corey, for giving an overview of the Business Enterprise Program. And now I want to introduce our panelists up here who are actually blind vendors. We have Todd Stevens, Brad Holland, Lynn Florence, and Buster Main. So I've got, well, y'all can clap. It's good. Okay, so I have some questions I'm going to ask them, and they're just going to pop in and answer the questions. And I think that Ashley was going to get the portable mic. So, okay, good. Okay, so the first question is, what is the most rewarding thing that you believe about being a blind entrepreneur in the KBE program? Who's going to take that question?
I'll do it. This is Lynn Florence. I believe that this program gives you the opportunity to expand yourself and to serve others, but to provide for your family. It's very rewarding in what we do. Some people think it's, just filling a machine or, giving, a candy bar, but it's more than that. This is our business and we have pride in it. I don't know. Todd, Brad.
Anybody else?
This is Todd. I lost my vision in the middle of my life at 37 years old from diabetic retinopathy 25 years ago. I worked for Wells Fargo Bank as a commercial underwriter, and I had a very successful career. And after I lost my vision, I graduated from the University of Kentucky with a major in business administration, an MBA from Golden Gate University out in California. And I was thinking once I received my rehabilitation training that I would be good to go. And, I got plenty of doors slammed in my face. Actually, all of the doors were slammed in my face as far as getting back into the workforce. So I had an opportunity through the Randolph Shepherd program to revive my career. And I'm very thankful for that. For the first time, Wells Fargo, the work that I did was extremely stressful. And the pay was good, but it wasn't enough for all of the time that I spent working in banking. This is extremely rewarding. I have 12 employees that work for me. We work well together. And just the opportunity to run my own business and to have a vision about my business, have a mission, and be able to implement that is extremely rewarding. And out of all the different things that I've done in my life, this is the most rewarding.
Hello, my name is Brad Holland. I own Blackstone Vending in the Hall of Justice. And to piggyback a little bit off of what Todd said, to give you a little bit of background of me, ex-military, but my career has branched over a broad spectrum of things, from the military, from being an entrepreneur, having a clothing store, from doing industrial plumbing. I finished my career as an industrial plumber, designing and building chemical plants out of Pipe Fitters Local 184 there in Paducah, Kentucky. I found out about this program a little bit later in life. I lost my vision at 26 years old through chickenpox. So it attacked my optic nerve and left me totally blind. And God said, you know what, I'm not going to take it all, but I'm going to give you a little bit. So I'm going to say amen to that. But this program, with the jobs that I have had, everything I've done has been challenging. And this is not a program of entitlement, okay? This is a program of hard work and setting yourself apart. And everyone here is setting themselves apart. I see you guys maneuver around independently. Technology has came a long way. So this program incentivizes you to not just sit on the couch and just be average. That's what it's done for me. I've never done things average. So as long as this program is in effect, like Corey and Lynn has said, and Todd, it keeps you going. It keeps you wanting not to give up and to see what tomorrow's going to hold for you. So that's what I got out of it.
I'm Buster Main. I actually started out working customizing vans, and then and then a friend of mine called me and told me about the vending program. I knew a little bit about it, but I decided to come to Louisville and go through the training. I did, and it's great. It's the best thing in the world if you want to work. That's a big thing. I worked, and I've been doing it for about 38 years now. It's changed a lot. It's changed. Oh, I'm sorry. It's changed a lot over the year, but it just keeps getting bigger and better.
Mr. Talk about everything that's provided. You've been able to raise a family, buy a home.
Yeah. I mean, it's
in those 38 years.
Yeah, I mean, You know, when I first started out, we ran when I first started out, we rented.
See if his works. No.
Go
Closer.
Oh. As I say, we actually, when I lost my job doing the vans, we actually had to move out of town because we had nothing. We got in the program, and as I say, over the years, you know, we have a home. We own our own home, which took a long time to do, but it's just a great opportunity. We need some young people. That's why we need some young people, because a lot of the people in the program are getting older now. But it's a great opportunity. Best thing in the world, I think.
Okay. The next question, and I think you guys have kind of touched on this, but y'all can still jump in. Has the Business Enterprise Program helped you become a successful entrepreneur?
Well, this is Lynn. For me, I had tried to get into this program in my early 20s. And if any of you've, gone through the department, then it was, especially for this program, we are very limited on the females in this program. It is not a female program. It's not looked at as that, or it wasn't. And so it was, hey, no, there's too many, people above you. You'll never get a location and blah, blah, blah. And so, I went on and moved into something else and worked in childcare for 15 years, which then made it better when I actually did become a vendor. And how I got into the program, sort of, was that the vendor that I ended up working for, he was going on vacation, and he said, hey, you want to come and do my machines at LC Industries? So some of you may remember when I was down there. And I said, I don't know anything about a vending machine. And he's like, oh, I'll call you and I'll walk you through it. And that's how it got started. And then that vendor went to APH, and I followed him. And I worked for him for 7 years. He was asked to leave, and by the grace of Tuck Tinsley, if anybody knows him, if Tuck said you're going to do it, you're going to do it. And he worked with the department. Corey was not our director then. And said, hey, either you help her get into this program or we'll kick you out and she will become our private vendor. So luckily I got into the program. I owned APH for almost 10 years. But due to the construction, I would have never left. APH was going to be that was it. I was not going to leave when they did the construction and had planned to do the remodel of the cafeteria. Budget restraints said, what can we cut? And that's what happened. So we put a micro market in, and the opportunity for Fort Knox opened up, and that is where I'm at. This whole process along the way has built, kind of like Buster said, it has built a living for me and my family. That hard work has made it a little easier now, but we all worked really hard to get to each level that we are. None of this is handed to us. None. If you do a good job and you work your business, in the end, you'll be rewarded for it. And that's how I look at Fort Knox. For me, I was rewarded based on the job that I did. Anybody else? Oh, let me give this caveat. Just for a fun fact, I am out of Randolph Shepherd, started in 1932, six. I am the first female chair to hold the position in Kentucky. Just gotta,
I think for me, I'm just looking. I actually got my first opportunity with Corey. Corey, we had a position that came up for the IRS Gateway Building, which is a huge operation, probably one of the highest revenue facilities that we have other than the military dining facilities. And Corey says, I think you can do this. I like your background. I'm going to throw you in the fire, but I think that you'll be okay. And so I did not take that opportunity for granted. I know that working in corporate America for many years, that if you don't succeed, they let you go. And so I was determined to succeed. Now, did my success come right out the gate? No, it didn't, because there are a lot of obstacles that you have to maneuver when you're running the IRS. There's a lot of bureaucracy there. But in addition to that, the Kentucky Business Enterprise state licensing agency, they provide equipment for you. They provide individuals that are working in the SLA, state licensing agency, to service that equipment. You don't have to pay any rent. Your expenses are limited to your cost of goods sold, which is your inventory, and your operating expenses. And the profit that you make, you pay 7% on that, and you keep the rest of it. So, there's nothing like, yes, and Lynn said to remind you that we do pay taxes. And I'm going to also say that we don't receive our inventory. We have to actually pay for that. Some people say, well, that's given to you. No, it's not given to you. You have to pay for it. But yeah, it's a great program. There's nothing like it. And I'm just fortunate to be a part of it.
Does anybody else have a comment? Are y'all ready for the next question?
No, Brad.
Okay.
This is Brad Holland. For me, financially, how it's benefited me, like I said, I've always been an entrepreneur or had some kind of business going on in some form or fashion. And this just, it was just being able to put another feather in my hat by getting into the food business. It has afforded me to look at things in a different light. And I will say to anyone that may be interested in it, or anything, in any endeavor that you may want to do, how bad do you want it? And I want it bad. People that's in this program, they call me the bougie one. Let's just go ahead and throw that on the table now. And
Brad's got the guy side. I think I got the girl side.
I like a standard of living. Just because you may be blind or visually impaired does not mean, and I'm elaborating, does not mean that you can't ride around in a Bentley. Okay. So that's my take. And Corey has always asked us when we got into this. I know he said it to me. I know he said it to Todd. I don't know if he said it to anybody else, but how big do you want to get? How successful do you want to be? Not how successful he can make you. How successful do you want to be? So that's what it has done for me as far as financially.
No, okay. You can go on, Laura.
Okay. So the next question is, why would you recommend the Business Enterprise Program for anyone who is looking for a career, a blind individual who's seeking a new career or their first career?
I think, I think we've kind of answered it, but we've kind of talked about this with Corey, because we do need some younger vendors. We really do. And that's part of why the Youth Summit is been, the pre-eds program has been initiated. But we've also talked about those people that, are, maybe retired that have, are still, hey, this could be their second chapter. It doesn't mean you're going to just get in and just say, hey, I'm going to hire everybody and I don't do anything. But if you still want a career, this is a great program. Again, like Todd said, where are you going to go that a business is literally handed to you and all you have to do is make it succeed? You can make it succeed or you can fail. And all of us in this program, we choose to succeed. No matter what the blind vine says, this program is just not sitting back and it's all handed. We all up here work for everything. And, again, you're going to go into a business that you can just make it as much as you want it to be.
I think for this program, Corey in particular, as a director, he looks at your heart to see how bad you want. He doesn't look necessarily at your resume. You don't need a lot. You need to have a desire to work. And I think if he can sense that in you and get that out of you during our interview process, he's going to give you an opportunity. Our upward mobility committee and fellow vendors will look at that and recognize that in you, and you will get the opportunity. Now, what you do with that opportunity is up to you. But I think that's rare. Again, it's a very unique program, and what you make of the opportunity that you have is all up to you. Now, you do have the support of the state licensing agency, but all in all, this is your business. And so you want to run it with pride. You want to make yourself look good. And by extension, you make the Kentucky Business Enterprise Program look good. And, we are working right now to make sure that we are a highly recognized program throughout the United States. And I know that Corey's working diligently, but we are on board with him trying to do that as well, because we have to do it together.
I would say any young person that is going to college that is blind or visually impaired, that really hasn't found their way but wants to be independent, I would highly recommend this program for them. To get in when you're on the ground floor of it, make your bones, get the experience, not only just to learn vending machines, but food service. I honestly think food service for our program is the thing that's really going to evolve, being that I hate to say the dirty word COVID, that has changed everything. And I think food service is going to be one of those opportunities that is going to propel us or keep us relevant in this. So that for someone that's blind or visually impaired can go to college and do and get some administrative skills, some computer skills to help them navigate the technology that is on the horizon with this AI. That's going to make it even easier for you to do inventory and things of that nature. So, our vendor body is aging. It's aging fast. I'm 55, and I don't plan on slinging cans of Coke and selling candy bars to people all my life. I'm bougie. Okay. I just want to promote the program and tell young people and even middle-aged people. I'm not going to cancel no one out that's senior and saying you can't do this, but you know what? It is physical. It has some physical challenges to it. And, you know, so many times we get lazy and hire someone else to do our work for us, but that's not being a part of your business. You know, if you got to get in there and know every orifice of your business, and that would help, you know, and it's a young person's game, as we used to say in the construction business. This cold weather, that ain't for me. This is a young man's game or a young lady's game. So, and that's what I'm saying about this program. We need new blood, a lot of new blood, because there's a lot of opportunities that are coming up that some of us just want to go sit on the beach. You know, I know a lot of us do, you know, and we can't do that if we don't have someone to take over the mantle of this program.
Okay, that's it. Is that it? Okay. Okay, this is gonna be the last question. So for any of you, what advice would you give to someone who's thinking about looking into the business enterprise program, or someone who's just starting out in the program? What have you learned that you think could benefit a new person in the program?
First of all, if you're here today, come talk to us. We're the knowledge. We're the knowledge of the program. You don't get just thrown in and say you're on your own. You have the backing of the agency, and you have the backing of 20. We'll say 26 because the other two aren't they haven't been long enough. But you know, come and just see what it is. You would talk to your vendors. You would get that knowledge. I'd say one of the biggest things that you have to know in today's world is computers. If that is probably the biggest change in this program. You know, sodas haven't changed, candy bars haven't changed. The only thing about that, they've gone up and got smaller. But you know, that basic stuff has not changed. But computers, they have changed this whole process. When Buster, Todd, maybe Brad, Brad, we all did everything by paper. We filled out set-aside reports by paper. You had to mail them in, you know, and then it got to you had part of it on a computer and part of it you still had to mail in. Now we do everything on a computer. We have kiosks that are to load those kiosks with your product. You have to know how to go on a program and set it up. All of the vending machines, the same thing. They're programmed using a computer so that you can track your inventory. You know, see how much you have made financially. The system can tell you, you know, how much cash versus how many credit card sales you've had. So to me, the biggest thing to be in this program and want to be is that you need to be technology savvy. And it's been a growing pains for some of the vendors. We actually have one vendor that refuses. He will not take credit cards. And you can't give him anything over a $5 bill. Is that right? Is that right, Corey? Yeah, over a $5 bill. And in today's world, his business is not going to get any better. It's going to be stuck. Yeah, he's not taking the opportunity. It's going to be stuck right there. So, you know, even when I started APH, the vendor that I worked with would not take credit cards. They still wrote checks to him from APH to cash for the week, and then we'd have to turn it in and get, you know, money back. The first thing I implemented when I took it over was using Square. And that, you know, brought the business up, you know, 50% for sure. And then by the time I think I left that, it was like 25% cash and 75% card. So I would say technology.
I would agree with Lynn on that. I would also say familiarize yourself with business concepts. There's a lot of information on the internet. You really need to have an understanding of how business works. You can't spend more than what you have, and you need to understand that concept. If you do not have a banker, build a banking relationship, because that's important as well. My background in banking put me on the right track as to I knew exactly what I needed to do to run my own business, because I used to evaluate people for credit on the other end of that in my prior life. But those are three of the key things that I think that you need. And I'd be remiss in not saying to find someone who is in the program. The person that I leaned on a lot had retired from the program, Dennis Franklin. He was a good friend of mine, and I would ask him questions. I learned a lot from him with him not even being in there before I got started.
I would say learn people. You're possibly going to be having someone to work with you, whether it be a driver, whether it be someone helping you fill your vending machines. That would be one. The other thing I would say is to also finances. Be disciplined in your finances. Just because you got it don't mean you can spend it. Okay? That would be the first thing. The other thing that I would suggest is be very passionate about it. Do not take anything lightly, because business can change on you on a dime. It can change overnight. And know your customer base. Know your customer base. The vendors here, they'll tell you every location is different. It's going to be different. If you're in a building, if you have a vending route, don't just assume that everybody likes Reese's cups and you just stock it full of Reese's cups and that's it, because you got some Kit Kat lovers out there too. So, so you've got to know what your customer base is. And that comes along with, like I said, in the business, they teach you all of this. And the other thing I will say, because we're available here. Come and just hang out with us. Come see some of our locations. If you're in downtown Louisville, I'm in the courthouse. If you want to stop in, I'll give you the 50-cent tour. Okay? And you can walk around and you can sample some of the food and ask me any questions that you would want. I'm pretty sure, Todd. Well, you can't go to Todd because you got to be cleared on him. But but me or any of the other vendors, I know for me, my door is always open. If anybody wants to come and see how my operation is ran. I have a Hunt's Brothers Pizza. I'm back there being Luigi. I'm making pizzas all day, every day. Okay. And be innovative. Always, you don't have to be. So this is what I've noticed with some in the past with some vendors or in the past. It's not just hand it over, wash, rinse, and repeat. This is your business. You got to put your stamp on it. You got to make it look like you. If you like green and purple walls, paint the walls green and purple with polka dots. If that's what you like, okay? That separates you and lets everyone know that it is yours. So those are some of the things that I would encourage in it, Ms. Laura.
Let me just follow up real quick. One of the questions that I always ask when we set in an interview, and you don't just get an interview, by the way. You have to go through your counselor. They have to recommend you. And then you come and do an interview with the board of us. And Todd and I sit on that, but it could be any vendor at any time. But one of the questions I always ask is, do you have a support system? That is so important because you can't do this on your own. I know we want to do it on our own, but you cannot, you don't drive. That's just the fact of life. You don't drive. Unless you're a bioptic driver, you don't drive. And so you have to have a support system. The other thing is, have a personality. Yeah, I know it sounds funny, but especially if you're having a counter or even machines. My brother is a vendor in transportation, and he does vending machines, but he has a personality that when someone walks past him, he says, "Hey, how are you? Do you have any suggestions?" Rather than just going in and filling a machine and saying, "I don't care who they are. I just need them to, buy stuff out of my machine." Or if you have a counter, my daughter would say, "Hey, Mom." Well, no, she calls me Mommy. Sorry. "Hey, Mommy, why do you sound one way at home and another way at work?" And I would say, "Hey, that's my job." Yeah, I am a little pushy. That's my job. And my personality is what gets them into this business. It doesn't matter. And, I used to tell customers that may have not come in for a while, that, they might have some financial difficulties and they're like, "Oh, I just can't afford to buy anything right now." And I would say, "Hey, I like your money, but I also like you. And, I want to know how you're doing and how your family is." And I built that relationship with APH. So it was really hard when I left there. There's been a couple people that I've seen over this couple days from there, and they're like, "Miss Lynn, we miss you so much, and we still call it Miss Lynn's, and we'll never call it anything else." And, so have a personality. I know you guys have been somewhere, going into a store, and the cashier or whatever is just so like, it's the most miserable thing they have ever done to check you out. Like, "God, can you just not buy groceries to feed yourself today?" So, have that personality. That and a support system to me are two big things.
Okay. All right. Thank you, guys.
Oh yeah, that's one thing. Family. That's another one.
Okay.
Limit your family. Let's be clear. There's been, hold on one second, Laura.
Okay, real quick.
This program, so people may not know this, that when we are not, like, say I retire or I pass away, our families do not get these businesses. They go back up for bid, and another vendor gets them. So when you put your family as all of your employees, when something happens to you, all of them have lost their jobs. Yes, as Buster said, you're doing them a disservice. So just remember that. Sorry, Laura.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, guys. We've got some other panels, but we want to thank all of our panel members. And if anybody has any questions about the Business Enterprise Program, they're going to be around today, so you can find someone and talk to them more. And I'm sure they'd be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was wonderful. Thank you so much. Yes, Jacob, door prize. You can't get rid of my dog.
All Canes point to Lynn Florence.
Oh, how appropriate. All right. Thank you again to Corey and our presenters. And our next presentation, Egg Hunt Extravaganza, will be moderated by Ashley Swafford, and our presenters are Nicole Stewart and Bradley
I'm gonna bring her chair up. Oh, we're gonna bring her chair up.
Just as a reminder, if we could please keep all side conversations to a minimum. This room is very echoey and all the side conversations are bouncing off the walls. So we just want to be respectful to our presenters. Is everybody up here?
Yes, they are. I got them.
All right, we have Bradley Wines and Nicole Stewart. Now, you all may remember Bradley. He's joined us a few times before talking about our Bell program. So we are so delighted to have him back. Nicole is one of our newer members, so we are delighted that she is here as well. And without further ado, I will turn the mic over to Ashley.
Okay, that was a hard panel to follow. They like to do a lot of talking. No, you're all good. You're good. And it's very helpful and knowledgeable information. So I am so blessed to be able to moderate this panel. So this was our very first audible egg hunt in the state of Kentucky. Like for us, it was huge. It happened on Sunday, March 23rd. And we chose to do it on a Sunday because we wanted to have the participants of the Kentucky School for the Blind, their students, be able to participate in this event and have the opportunity for not just the day students, but also the dorm students as well. We were able to host this event from partnership with Clover Nook, Center for the Blind and Visually Impaired, as well as the Kentucky School for the Blind for hosting the event, and grants from the Kentucky School for the Blind Charitable Foundation. So I know that they're not in this room, but can we just give them an applause, because this was a huge event that they helped put on. As my panel can tell you, the weather that day was less than desirable. I seriously think that it was an all-day thunderstorm with flash flooding across the state of Kentucky. I mean, in Louisville, city of Louisville. It was awful. Okay, we thought this is going to be a great day. We're going to have the egg hunt out in what we call the square, out in the grassy area. We were going to have a food truck, which everything happened. It happened. We just had to move everything to the inside. And so that created some obstacles, which we'll talk about. And I'm sure they'll share all that that happened. But we were lucky to have 40 children come out and participate in this. We opened it up to not just blind students, and we didn't limit their age. It was birth all the way up to 18. Like, we wanted to have everyone have this opportunity. We also opened it up to their siblings, and they actually had to wear sleep shades. So they had to have the same experience that our blind students had. We wanted it to be a fair playing field. Obviously, I couldn't have all 40 kids here, but that's why we have Bradley. Bradley, I'm going to give you a wireless mic, okay? There you go. He's going to test it for me. If you want to stand, you can stand.
I didn't mean to hit it.
You know what? It's okay. So Bradley is a full-time student at the Kentucky School for the Blind. And you're 10, right, Bradley?
Yeah.
I got that right. Okay. Making sure I get your age right. I know you will yell at me if I don't. Bradley had his siblings participate with him, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. And so Bradley, I'm sorry, I'm trying to find my question for you. My first question for you, Bradley, is can you tell our friends what your reaction was when you walked into the gym? Because we had to move the egg hunt into the gym instead of it being outside. What was your first reaction walking in?
Oh, well, I was excited because I was like, before I walked in the gym, I was like, oh man, I hope we have this hunt. And then I walked into the gym and I was so excited because there was a bunch of beeping eggs.
and I wanted to beat my brothers.
I like that competitiveness, right? Yeah, he's shaking his head. Yeah, that's a boy for you, right? Now let's talk about your siblings for a second, okay? Because they had to wear those sleep shades.
Mhm.
Do they find that annoying?
They were Patrick, my brother, he was so scared, and he kept trying to peek out of the blindfolds, and he's like, "Oh, I don't want to run into a wall." And my stepbrother Jude, he's like, "Oh, I don't want to run into a wall. I can't see nothing." And it was so difficult for them. Fun fact: they got a silver egg, and I got a golden.
Which
So
is
I beat
better.
them. I
Yeah,
beat
you
them.
beat them. You got the golden egg. You want to say anything else about kind of what their experience was like?
Well, they were kind of nervous, but I think they were initially excited about the candy that they were gonna get because they have cavities.
Yeah.
They have a major sweet tooth.
What did you think about having that opportunity to share that experience with them?
I was excited because I thought they weren't gonna be included, but everybody was included.
Yeah, that was great. And you know, we're planning one for this upcoming year. And what do you think we should add? I think I know what you're gonna say.
I think we should add like um if the weather is right, we should do like a little bouncy house or
Yeah.
like play some music or something. Or if the weather doesn't go that good, maybe move it over to the big gym because the rec gym, it's kind of smaller and the sounds bounce off the walls easier and less kids can go and hunt at once. But if we moved it over to the big gym, you could hide it inside of cones. You could hide eggs inside of cones.
I think Bradley needs to be on our planning committee. Do you have anything that you would like to add, Bradley?
Well, one more thing is I'm just very excited about it, and I'm glad that Miss Ashley helped put it on because I'm very excited about it because it's kind of hard for me to find stuff to do sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad that you put it on. And you made a very quick turnaround whenever the weather didn't go as planned.
Oh, well, thank you, Bradley. That was so sweet. Buddy, have a hug. Oh, thank you for being here. And Bradley is here with his mom, Alyssa, today. And so thank you both for being here and taking the time out to do this. I'm going to put down this. There we go. I'll put that one down so I don't have any feedback. Along with Bradley, it took about 30 volunteers to put this on for these kids. As I said, we had a food truck. You know, when you're on a campus, you also have to kind of have security. So meaning security. We also had an information fair. So we had vendors there to put out information. So we had those. We had to have egg counters, and oh my goodness, there were so many jobs. We had the hunters, and we had the guides, everything. And so my next guest couldn't be here today, and she actually was one of the peer volunteers. And so we had 5 peer volunteers, and these peer volunteers were just kids. I mean, they were kids in their teens. And that was McKenna Harrod, who was going to join us today, who actually, she has given me her answers to the questions I was going to ask. Emma Swafford, my daughter. Piper Bruin, I think is how I say her last name. She is a student at KSB along with McKenna. We had Spencer Fisher, who his mom is the math teacher at KSB. And we had Macy Epperson, whose mom is UK, right? UK, yes. So these 5 peer volunteers stepped up, and not only did they step in just to hide the eggs, sometimes they stepped in and just helped the kids. Like, you know, if we needed a guide, they said, "Can I help guide?" And they did. So some of the questions that I had asked McKenna was, what was it like volunteering? And McKenna would say volunteering for the egg hunt was most rewarding for me because I witnessed young children who were blind and visually impaired having an incredible childhood experience of hunting eggs. I then asked McKenna, and just so you have some background, McKenna is deafblind. And so as Bradley said, it was very loud in that gym. Those eggs were echoing. And I mean, I had an opportunity to put on a sleep shade, and I was like, where are you going to look for them? I mean, they're everywhere. You talk, you know, Dave's said earlier, you have this surround sound. Imagine beeping eggs. It's actually very annoying. Let's be honest. It's difficult. Outside, most definitely. So McKenna has to wear, she has her hearing aids. And I asked her, I said, being deafblind, what is an obstacle that you have had to overcome? And she said, well, as a deafblind person, there is a lot of challenges. But the biggest one I would have to say is when you have less sight and you rely mostly on your hearing because your hearing isn't the best, it's hard for you to rely on the hearing. So I got hearing aids, and the hearing aids do is they enhance every sound, and it means every sound is very loud. So even hearing aids, it's hard to hear like a specific person. So what she did to overcome this was she said she had an amplifier, and she would put the amplifier on someone, and then she could hear that specific person, and that helped her through the egg hunt. And she uses this in the classroom. So she modified for herself, and that was something she did. I then asked her at the end, before they were finished and we put up all the eggs, our peer volunteers got to actually hunt the eggs to have that experience. And McKenna, she was given the choice in the beginning, do you want to volunteer or do you want to hunt? And she said, I want to volunteer. And McKenna's always the first to step up and say, let me do this, please. So I said to her, like, what was the difference between them? And she says, my favorite part about hunting, my favorite part was of the egg hunt would be hunting the eggs, just because having the experience to be able to go out and do the event that I normally couldn't do. It's harder for me. Being able to have it in a way that was easier and I could enjoy more normally. I absolutely hate egg hunting. So because I can't see them, it would just stress me out because I'm very competitive. But overall, it was just a very fun and enjoyable time. And of course, I had to ask if she would do it again, and she didn't hesitate. Yep, I'll do it. So I want to thank Mary. Her mom is here today. Mary drags her to all of the stuff. I feel like I shouldn't say drag. McKenna, like I said, she usually comes and is, Oh, yes, it is actually probably, Mary will say, McKenna drags Mary around. So thank you, Mary, for always having her involved, and it's great that you all can be a part of it. So, and I hope Mary does it again next year as well. Again, 30 volunteers it took to put on this event, and I am so happy to have one of our volunteers, Nicole Stewart, here today. When Nicole came, Nicole goes to UK, and so she came in with her mom from Lexington and immediately jumped in and was like, where can I go? And I gave her three choices. I said, you can be a marshal, so a talking sign giving vocal directions. You can do door security, and I have an egg counter. And she said, I want to be where the kids are. I don't know that she actually understood what that entailed when she signed up for it, but I am so glad she did. I'm going to give you this wireless mic here. Okay, Nicole? Thank you, Nicole, for being here. And so, Nicole, I'm going to ask you a question, okay? Or several. What was your reasoning for wanting to volunteer for the spring fling?
Can y'all hear me in the back? So growing up, I was legally blind, and a lot of times there either wasn't an egg hunt that I could show up to, or I'd show up and somebody would have to help me. You know, I wasn't fast enough. And when I heard about the audible egg hunt, I thought, you know what? This is a great chance to see what that's like, to get to volunteer and see these kids have this chance that I never really got growing up, because this is something that's going to be accessible to them. And I really want to see, you know, how they react to it, watch them get to see something that was made to accommodate them and be a part of that joy.
Nicole, is there anything you would like to share about your experience with the audience?
Yeah, so getting to be an egg counter, a lot of the responsibilities with that are, you know, making sure that all of the eggs are accounted for, but also checking to see if somebody found the silver egg, did somebody find the gold egg, and making sure that kid knows that they get a prize for that. And I really enjoyed that because, you know, I could tell by texture they were painted over. So when a kid would come up with the silver or the gold egg, I would know, and I'd be able to tell them, hey, you got the gold egg or you got the silver egg. And they would be so excited because usually, you know, egg hunts are hard. And here they are in an environment where they're really able to participate fully, and they're actually getting extra prizes for that. And it made me so happy to watch them come up and, oh, I got the silver egg. What do I get? Or, oh, I found 10 eggs. They were so excited, and it's just contagious to watch that. You can't help be happy for them.
Nicole, I'm going to throw one at you that I didn't send to you, okay?
Okay.
All right. Can you describe to us how the eggs work, since you've had to take them apart or to count them?
Sure. I had to take them apart and put them back together because they get stepped on. So I know quite a bit about what was inside of there. They were actually, the people at Clover Nook said they were developed by a bomb squad, which is kind of interesting. Fun fact of the day. So inside there is a mechanism that beeps. So there's like a little cord on the inside and a small device attached to that. And when you put the egg together, a lot of them also had a switch on the top or on the bottom that you flick it one way and it turns the egg on. So it starts this high-pitched beeping. And if you turn it the other way, then it shuts it off. So when we would get the eggs to count them, a lot of times they would all still be beeping because the kids might not know to turn them off. So we would have to turn them off and, you know, make sure they're all put together, check the mechanism inside, and then get them ready to go back out and be turned back on again by the people who came back to collect them.
Do you have anything else you would like to share with the audience about your experience?
I'm just really, really impressed at what Clover Nook was able to do with the eggs, and happy that we were able to have it here at KSB, where so many kids, you know, they're either students or their siblings could come. It was a very accessible place to have it. And hopefully next year we don't have rain, and hopefully it's not in that little tiny gym. Because that was a lot of noise.
And she was surrounded with it for 3 hours.
Oh, yes.
Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you.
Just so everyone knows, we actually do have our next egg hunt on the calendar, and it will be held again at the Kentucky School for the Blind on, again, Sunday, and it's going to be on March 22nd. So look for the information as it comes out. And again, we need volunteers. So please don't hesitate to sign up. Okay. And thank you, Bradley and Nicole, for being here today.
Door prize?
Oh, we have an $18 gift card, a candle, umbrella,
Give it up for Lauren Allen, who has won a door prize.
Is Lauren in here?
Jump up and down.
Woo! Got a gift card. Nice.
Oh, no.
All right, wonderful. Thank you again so much. Let me get to the right section of my agenda. All right, our next panel, we are all for panel discussions this morning, is Wags and Walks, how a guide dog can help enhance your independence. How many chairs do we need now?
I'm getting them.
Come off the mic and talk. Right here, maybe. Okay, cool. I needed a not a sketch. All right. Cool. The dog should go in the chair. It's like, oh, no.
Okay, we may need just another minute to get our panel situated. Is the cordless mic down there with them?
There's just 3 of them.
There's
just 3.
Yes.
Okay.
I thought there were, but there's 3. At my place. Thank you. Okay, everybody situated down there, panel?
Yeah, we are.
Okay, good morning. I'm Sandra Williams, and this is Wags and Walks. Now, I was asked to facilitate this panel, even though I do not have a guide dog.
You're just good at talking.
So we're going to take a look at various aspects of guide dog handling, procuring, and just caring for. So first of all, this question, now all of these questions I will not ask all of you, okay? And I kind of have something at the end that you 3 don't know about. Anyway, bless you. For all the panelists, briefly tell us your name, your dog's name, and the school you got your dog, and how long you've had it. I know that was a lot. You can just take turns.
Hello. Okay.
My name is Amelia Lilly, and I have Morgan. She's a German Shepherd from Fidelco Guide Dog Foundation, and I've had her about 4 or 5 months.
My name is Jacob, and I have Wait. He's a lab from Guide Dogs for the Blind. I've had him for 3 years, and here you go.
Hey, my name is Danielle Burton, and I have Chestnut. She is a yellow lab, and I've had her for 5 weeks. So,
Okay. The second question is for all of you as well. All of you have received your dogs from different places. So I'd like for each of you to take this opportunity to tell us what the application process was like for each of the programs you attended.
okay, I will start. This is Danielle. I think I forgot a second ago. Chestnut is from the CNI. For me, the application process, let me just briefly say the first time I filled out an application for the CNI, it was rather lengthy. I had to fill out an online application, and then I was sent a few other forms. I was sent a travel form, which asked about like what airport or train station is close to you, and all of that. You're returning, and then and your dietary needs, and then also as a first-time applicant, when I applied for my previous dog, I had to fill out an independent travel questionnaire, which asked about like your travel skills and things like that. It was pretty in-depth. And because I disclosed that I'm deafblind, I also filled out a self-hearing evaluation. Like it pretty much asks like how far does an instructor have to be before they can, so you can hear them, can you hear traffic? Can you hear that? It was really so that they could accommodate you well in class. They give that for folks that have a known hearing loss if we disclose it. So that's not something that every applicant fills out, from my understanding. In addition to that, I had to, get a physical from my doctor. Because I'm totally blind, I did not have to have a vision report. And I think being totally blind is the only instance where you do not have to do that. When I applied for my Chestnut, it was literally 2 pages. It was kind of strange. I was like, wow, is this it? I feel like I haven't done anything. And then I had an instructor will come out and do a Juno walk, which is Juno walk. So when the instructor has a harness and holds the harness and pretends to be the dog, and you give them commands and corrections and things like that so that they can gauge your pace and pull. So that's kind of how it works at the CNI.
Thank you.
For Guide Dogs for the Blind, basically you just go to the GDB website, you fill out a quick form. You have to submit some info about how much you travel, because they do want to make sure that you're not going to get your dog just stay home, basically be a pet. So they want to make sure you are actually getting out and walking around, getting your dog exercise and using your dog. And once you get that submitted, you get a admission officer will get in touch with you, and that's basically the person, depending on where you are online, will work with you to make sure you get all your documents submitted, like proof of blindness and health reports, physical, that sort of thing. And then they will come out and also do a Juno walk with you, a kind of in-person interview. In my case, I did it during COVID, so I did it online. I'm actually, they might be doing it all online now, so I'm not sure, but that's basically it. And here's Amelia.
Thank you.
So, Fidelco's application process is pretty much the same. You do the application and then you turn in all your paperwork and stuff. Then they did a home interview, and that's when they kind of saw how much I walked and how I walked, how fast I walked. We practiced, a common intersection kind of thing. She happened to have a dog that day, so I did get to walk with a dog. I've never done a Juno walk, like with the harness. I think that's about it. It's really, when it comes to the application process, it's all pretty much the same. I mean, they may ask for a slightly different paperwork, but in the end, it's about the same. But they do definitely emphasize, yes, that I needed to walk like anywhere from like 3 to 5 miles a day, just because German Shepherds are very high energy dogs, and they really need that exercise, and not everybody is up to that challenge.
Okay. This question is for Jacob. Jacob, how important are cane skills when it comes to thinking about a dog?
That's going to be really important. And in fact, they can usually quickly tell if you need cane skills during that home interview, because you're going to do that home interview and then want to show that you're able to cross streets and things like that. So a lot of schools will have their own actually O&M that you can do for, it's like a 2-week program to get some additional O&M skills, because you're not going to just tell your dog to go to Starbucks. Your dog's not going to know that, not quite a GPS. You still have to know how to use Google Maps or whatever O&M tools you use. So definitely, they're not quite there yet. They're not quite GPS.
This question is for Amelia. I know that Danielle and Jacob have no vision. On the other hand, you do. What influenced your decision to get a dog while having some usable vision?
It's kind of the same with using a cane. Like it allows me in a way to be able to look more than just down at the ground. Like I can actually look around, and I know with Morgan, like, she's gonna find the things that I would have, find with a cane, or like otherwise find with my face, because I would trip and fall kind of thing. Oh, she's good at it. I don't know. I like the freedom of having a guide dog and how we navigate through everyday life much more than like a cane. And it allows me to be able to, see the world better. I don't know.
Well, and I've seen you walk with Morgan, and it pretty much allows you to fly. Just be honest, do you all fly?
I might can comment on this just for being around Amelia so much too, is that she actually takes her dog with her, but her cane not necessarily. And her face quickly finds things a lot of times.
Well, that's not good. Now, this question is for Danielle. Danielle, being deafblind, what has been your biggest obstacle in working with a guide dog? What is that obstacle, dog related or human related?
Well, okay, so of course she asked this, doesn't warn me.
Yeah, this panel did not get the question. So
no, I did not. Anyway, so I'm gonna do my best. For me, sometimes, being deafblind, I can't always use auditory cues, and a lot of times when you work with a dog, you need those auditory cues. So I use what I feel under my feet. I do almost always have a cane in my bag when I'm walking around, and people might think, well, why do you need that? If you have a dog. And I said, if I get lost in the middle of nowhere, I don't always have good enough sound localization to direct my dog if I need, and I've only had her for 5 weeks, so there's only so much I can expect from her. And so at that point, I will pull out a cane. And I think a couple weeks ago, I was walking down Frankfurt Avenue, and we veered slightly into the parking lot right after we crossed Coyle. And I was like, okay, I think I know how to get out of here, but just to not add more stress to my dog, I pulled out my cane, and used my cane and walked out of the parking lot and got on the sidewalk, put it away, and then picked up the handle and turned it forward. So for me, I think that's a bigger obstacle in that regard. You know, and then sometimes when the dogs start getting really, really smart, Chestnut's starting to really figure things out, which will probably make my brain crazy here in a minute. But, you know, they'll start doing things, and I'm like, why are they doing that? It's because I can't always hear what's happening. And I'm like, what in the world is happening right now? And, you know, like if I do have someone around, like, you know, my husband, he'll be like, you should just move with your dog. Oh, okay. So,
Okay, thank you. Once again, this question, we will start with Jacob. And I would like to hear, and I think the audience would like to hear briefly, a day in the life of your training. Once you got to school, you know, I guess start from the point where you met your dog for the first time. Then tell us about a day in that training life.
So at GDB, first off, we only are there for 2 weeks. So we're a quicker training program, and we get our dogs pretty quickly about this. Well, I guess the second, that Monday. So like pretty much the first full day you're there, you get to see your dog that evening, and you get your dog. You're not doing a lot of the actual guide work yet. You're just doing basic obedience, like heeling your dog. So having your dog walk beside you, not pulling on the leash and that sort of thing. And you do that for a good day or two, and then you go into the more advanced guide dog. Am I going through like the whole thing, or you said just a day?
Just a day, a day
okay.
in your training. How'd it go?
And I don't really have anything else to add to that. Here you go, Amelia.
Let's go with Amelia. Now, Amelia's training was a bit different since Amelia did her training at home. So let's hear about that.
Okay, so Fidelco does at-home training, which means they come to you. You have it's one-on-one training, and they're there for 10 to 12 days, depending just if you're new, whatever. So I got Morgan in the afternoon. She came to me, and then the lady, you know, handed me the leash and was like, "This is your dog." And we went inside and we just talked about, you know, a few basic like obedience. And then mostly we just did a chill day. You know, she told me when to like feed her and take her out kind of thing. But, you know, we didn't do anything like actual guiding until probably the second day kind of thing, just because, you know, it's a whole new thing for the dog. She just got off an airplane for, you know, 3 hours or whatever. So she's a little restless, a little, you know, nervous kind of thing. And so it's mostly just there to like start bonding with your dog and whatnot. And I get my dog like immediately, which is really nice. I don't have to wait. Like you class people.
Okay, Danielle.
I just need to know I'm giving Amelia dirty looks because she got her dog right away. At the CNA, we get there on Monday. Yeah, on Monday. And then we do Juno walks with our instructor Monday afternoon, Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon. We do not get our dogs until Wednesday morning. So we're tortured a little bit. So a typical day at CNA is 5:30 a.m. wake up. In case anyone noticed, this is why I've been so tired. I'm still recovering. 5:30 a.m. wake up. You take your dog out. After the first couple of days, you have to work your dog out to the potty area every day, every single time, and to all your meals. So you are doing a lot more working your dog around the building. 5:30 a.m. wake up. You go. You make 2 trips a day in town. You come back for lunch. And then you generally have like a lecture or 2, sometimes 2, between routes, between your morning and afternoon and after dinner. What I bet about the first day with my dog is we got breakfast early. That's okay, it's dog day. And the instructor knocks on your door, brings the dog to you. describes the dog a little bit, and then they pretty much leave you alone for a little while, and then we practice healing the dogs down to lunch with the instructor, and then we actually work our dogs that afternoon, but the instructor has a leash attached to it, so we do our first walk in the afternoon. So a little bit different.
Sure.
Okay, so also a different thing is they called me and they told me what kind of dog I was gonna get like 3 weeks before they came out with my dog, which is really cool. I really like that aspect, and it helps them to know like, does this dog sound like one that I'm interested in, kind of thing. So I just think that's cool.
Okay, this question is going to be for everyone. So Amelia, you can just hold on to that microphone.
Okay.
If there were someone in this audience who was pondering as to whether they should or should not get a dog, what would you say is the most important thing to consider when making that big decision? It is a huge decision.
I mean, it's exactly that. It's huge because you have another living being that you're taking care of. I mean, they're great. They're amazing. I love, what she does, but she's a dog. I have to take her out all the time. I have to feed her. The vet bills are expensive. Like, you do have to remember all these other added things with a guide dog. Like, it's not just like a cane that you can put in a corner when you're done with it kind of thing. Like, if you do that, your dog probably won't make it. But it's really comes down, are you willing to put forth the effort of, taking care of a dog? Is that gonna like be the pro for your what you're getting out of with having a guide dog? Look at you.
They're not for everyone. You always hear all the good things, and I don't want to discourage anyone from getting one. I think that everyone should get one if they want it. But you do have to take them to the bathroom every morning. And I get lazy.
Once a day.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, Amelia, can you do this? And then I end up having to get up. Or in the middle of the night, sometimes they get sick and they have to go every 2 hours, which recently happened. Or they might eat something weird and you not realize it and you have to clean it up. So there's those extra things to consider, how much you really do want it. But using them, they are really awesome going out. Like, they can really pattern things. If you walk a certain way every day, he picks up exactly where I want to go at this point. So it's really awesome having him too.
All right. Well, they've said most of what I would have said. I think one other thing I would think about is, they are dogs at the end of the day. They are going to do dog things, and sometimes they're going to do it in public and embarrass you. And I always tell people that if you don't ever want to be embarrassed in public, do not get a dog, because they will do things, and they will pick the worst opportune moment to do something. Usually when you're trying to be professional, and they will do something. It always happens, I promise. And like they said, if you, and not only that, is you do not get these dogs, they are trained, but they are dogs and they don't always want to listen. They do not, guide dogs have to be very intelligent. They have to be able to disobey, which also means that they will try to see what they can get away with. It takes a good 6 months to a year to really bond with your dog. You're not going to come home and just magically conquer the city of Louisville. So don't, and a lot of people think that that's how it's going to work and it's going to be magical and you're going to walk around. You're going to struggle. You're going to get lost. You will get lost with your dog. You will, your dog will see a squirrel and take off. Your dog will run you into, she ran me into the, Jacob and Amelia she ran me into the bench on the Big Four Bridge and I almost fell over it. And I was like so mad at her. Guess what? We went there again. She did not get me anywhere near a bench, but they, people think that is they don't make those kind of mistakes, and they do.
Thank you, Danielle. Now we're going to start closing it up. And I looked for Danielle this morning. I did not find her. Danielle, hold the microphone.
Sorry.
I have a question specifically for you. And I'm going to tell you, it may be a difficult question, but you are the only one that can answer it really. And I think people need to know this, and it wasn't in the discussion you and I had about these questions. And I know I detoured greatly.
Oh, wow. I knew when I signed you up for this. So
Yeah, you did ask me. So, Amelia said very aptly that a guide dog is a creature. It's a living thing. And with all living things, there comes a time when they don't live anymore. Yeah. And you've had these creatures for 6, 8, 10, even 12 years. And then they have to be retired and you have to say goodbye. Can you speak to that a little bit? I know you've retired Violet, and I know you've experienced another dog. Yeah. If you could speak to that retirement process and what generally happens with the school.
So, graduates pretty much from every school get first choice, whether the school grants ownership upon graduation or not. For my first dog, lived with my parents. And I got a text from my mom one morning, and she said, my first dog's name was Willa, for those who don't know. And she was like, Willa said she's throwing up blood. And I was like, oh. And I was 3 hours away. I was in Louisville. And I said, well, can you call the vet and see if they can come out and put it, because I knew if they started throwing up blood. She was 12 and a half years old. I think I called Tyler, my now husband. I called him. I don't know how many times I spammed his phone to wake him up, but I did. I woke him up. I said, because he was still living with his parents. I said, you have to go to the house. And him and my dad took her, and they found masses all over like her chest area, because they did blood work. Her blood work was great. And they found that, and I just said, let her go. And not being there was really hard, and not even just losing the dogs, but even the retirement process is very emotional. I just retired Violet, and it was really rough. Because her guide work was so good. But as soon as I walked with this dog, I knew it was the right decision. However, I still call her Violet sometimes. So sometimes I was like, so if you hear me say whoever you are, please just go forward. It's because I've already fought so many names. So it does happen when you start getting more dogs. You will probably call your new dog your old dog's name, and it's okay.
Okay, thank you so much to our wonderful panel. We got a lot of information. But I have a little surprise for you, and I did ask this person before I sprung anything on her. But we have a very, 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 even newer than Danielle and Amelia, guide dog handler here at convention, and it is our state president. So I've asked her to come up here and just tell you who she is and a little bit about her guide dog and what it's feeling like this very first weekend. I mean, she got off the airplane and came to the hotel. Her new dog hasn't even seen its home yet. So here's Angela.
Hey guys. So my new baby, his name is Ying. He is a Lab Golden Cross. He is a beast. He is 78 pounds, 24 and a half inches tall. And as you all know, I am not very tall. So, but I've had him for a total of 27 days. So he is very brand new. We are still learning this together. So if I make mistakes this week, if he makes mistakes this week, y'all know why. We're learning. We'll get there eventually. But I'm just delighted for this opportunity, and I'm already so in love with him. It's amazing. I'm really glad I made this choice. And his ears are amazing.
Thank you. Does anyone in the audience have a question for our panel?
Yes, we do have a wireless question.
I got one.
Anybody got your hand up? I can't see.
Anyone have a question?
Oh, I knew Cheyenne.
Thanks for that, Kathy. So, out of the three of you, since you all went to different schools, which school would you say is the best?
Oh.
Oh gosh, really? No fighting, guys.
Oh yeah, I had to.
I think I could probably answer this. Oh, is my mic on?
No, Danielle, it's not.
It is. It is.
Oh, okay. Okay, this is what I'm gonna say. Every school has their strengths and every school has their weaknesses. I don't think there is one school better than the other. It is like picking a college. You need to find the school that meets your needs. The school that meets my needs will not necessarily mean it's the school that meets your needs, because every school has their own unique services, their own training methods, and sometimes different breeds. So do your homework. That is my answer.
That's an awesome answer.
Anyone else? Back in the back. Kind of give me a little audio. I don't see you.
Oh, I was also going to follow up on your question
who,
too.
who?
And let you know also
who?
with that is like some do
Crystal. Okay.
online at home training, like Amelia. Mine has free veterinarian support. Danielle's has longer training, so that's some of the kind of differences.
Mine also only has German Shepherds.
Yeah, that too.
I have a question. And I'm going to sound really old when I say this. I've had two guide dogs from two different schools. And back in my day, ooh, that hurts saying that. Okay, back in my day, the training process, I went to the first school for 4 weeks. And I went to the second school for 3 weeks before they changed to 2 weeks, what they have now. And I was just wondering about the bonding process with your dog. Do you think that that is an adequate amount of time to be trained, the 2-week period, or the at-home training? Do you think it, helped you bond with your dogs better doing a shorter amount of training?
So this is Jacob. I think for me, the 2 weeks was plenty of time. That was a good amount of time to get to know my dog. It was very structured, so we had something we were doing every day. I feel like I really got to know him like just within that first week. There was a few that, after that first week, was like, this isn't going to work out. I think there was one person in the class at the time. And then they quickly switched to another dog, and he stayed an extra week to help finish that training. And then, if Amelia wants to say something about the home training.
So yeah, mine was like 10 days, but they did say if for whatever reason I felt like I needed a little more time, like they would have stayed out longer with me as well. I felt that the 10 days was a good length for me personally, because being one-on-one, we are obviously very focused on just us and stuff, and so we could really work and like do the things that say interested me or routes that I'm going to use in my everyday life. And so I think that also helps with that bonding, because we're learning things that are going to be applicable to our everyday life.
Oh, also, I was in college at the time, so more than 2 weeks would have been way too much for me. So, but here's Danielle too.
I think I'm gonna be one of those people that I personally like the longer training. Because for CNI, the first time handlers stay at the CNI for 25 days, and retrains stay for 18 days. So it's a little bit longer than most of the other guide dog programs these days. For me personally, I like the 18 days as a retrain, just because I personally like that little bit of extra time. But like I said, Jacob and Amelia's done very well with their dogs, so I see lots of people being very successful with the 2-week program. So it's whatever you feel comfortable with as an individual.
This is Angela. I'm going to jump in here as well.
I have to agree with Danielle. I think it's a very personal, what fits your personality and what you need the best. So like I said, I just got back. I spent 25 days at the Seeing Eye. And while that was really hard on me personally, because I had to leave my husband, I had to leave Toby, I think it's what I needed in order to bond with Ying and be able to train with him properly. Because had I got training at home, because I'm going to be honest, I looked into Fidelco, I looked into other programs. But I knew if I stayed home for training, I was not going to be focused on learning guide work and bonding with Ying. I would be focused on, okay, today Toby needs to be wearing tennis shoes for school because he has gym, or we have soccer practice after school today. There's a game at 6 on Saturday. Like, I would have been more focused on my family than what I needed to do to help enhance my own independence. So, like I said, I think it's a personal thing.
This is Nicole. Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
So I've been thinking a lot about guide dogs for myself and, thinking about, well, when will I know it's the right time? So the panelists, how did you all know when you got your first dog, hey, this feels like the time where I need to go ahead and make this leap and apply for a guide dog and go through this training?
Do you want to take that, Angela?
Sure.
I guess I can take that. Again, I think it's a very personal thing. So for me, because as you all know, my vision's deteriorating more and more every day. But 5 years ago when I had Toby and my retina's detached, it threw me into a whirlwind. And yes, my O&M skills on my own are very good. I can use a cane. I can travel pretty quickly. Like, I can get myself out of crazy situations. But I had a baby. And what I like about Ying is that intelligent disobedience. The fact that when I'm crossing the street with Toby, yes, I can rely on my hearing and I know how to cross safely, but that doesn't mean some idiot's not going to come speeding around the corner and hit me and my kid. What I like about having a guide dog is the fact that Ying will stop me. Intelligent disobedience, these dogs will come to an immediate stop and prevent you from getting hit by that car that's being ridiculous. So not only is he helping me, but he's helping me keep my child safe. So that was the biggest pull for me.
I've got a question. Other than Udoka, which has just German Shepherds, 2 questions actually. Are they out of Puerto Rico?
No, they're
okay.
out of Connecticut.
Okay. Okay. The other question was, are you allowed at schools who do have different dog breeds to choose the breed you'd like?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I would take that because I think my CNA has most of the more of a variety than the other 2. You can. I actually did say I preferred a German Shepherd, but was open to whatever match. You see, I got a Labrador, not a Shepherd. That's okay. I'm totally in love with her. It's fine. But if you are hard set on a breed, they will take that into consideration and they will do what they can. But there's a caveat to it that I want to say is if you say you want, say, a female German Shepherd and it has to be a female German Shepherd, you might be waiting a while because not only do they have to find that right breed, but they also have to make sure it's the right match for you. So you can, but it's going to make the matching process harder for them.
I have another question. Okay, so what would you suggest just put yourself in my shoes for a second, because I've been considering a guide dog where I am getting ready to start college, and Danielle, I already know your opinions, keep them to yourself.
Okay.
But
does it have to be a panel?
Wow.
Well, because I've already discussed it with Danielle. But anyway, so put yourself in my shoes for a second. So I'm getting ready to start college in January. My life is about to get way more busy and a lot more active than what it has been. And because of that purpose, I have been considering a guide dog, but I also already have a dog. Like he's just a regular child with fur. And so, not to make it morbid, I don't want to have to wait for him to die before I can get a guide dog. How would you go about that? Because like he's not unruly, he's trained to an extent, but he's not like guide dog trained. What
Okay,
would your
I'll call it a
suggestions
quits. Okay.
Amelia?
Is that having a dog with a guide dog or all those?
Just like a pet.
Yeah, the dogs are very trained. I mean, even if you have a dog that's not very trained, for example, it's mostly just, not letting your pet dog maybe give some of those bad behaviors onto your guide dog, just keeping up with training sort of thing. But if you are busy, just knowing guide dogs do require constant vigilance, more or less, like you have to keep up with their training.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Jacob. We are running low on time. Actually, we have exceeded our allotment. It's all right, not you. I just wanted to say a couple of things before we close it out. Number one, the panelists will be around, and I'm certain, I haven't asked them, but hey, we are Federation family. So I am certain that your Federation family of panelists will be happy to answer any of your questions that you may have throughout the rest of the convention. I'd also like to make mention that a guide dog, that training for that dog is between $50,000 and $70,000. So it is something that must be prized and cared for if you continue. And if you have some sort of a balance issue or some other type of issue, there are ways that guide dogs can help you as well. So the panelists can also talk to you about that if you have something in addition to just your blindness or low vision. I want to thank the panel again. I want to thank the audience for their awesome questions, and to our president for allowing this panel at this year's convention. Oh, I found a gavel. Oh, wait, I'm stuck in the cord. Hold on. Me and the boot are stuck in the cord. All right. Oh.
Well, that was awesome. Thank you guys so much. While we move a few things around, I know our two door prize people are currently still up front, but JP, do you want to go ahead and hit that button for us? Nice.
The lucky winner of the door prize is Lonnie Swafford.
Noah will be so happy. Now, Lonnie, you have to share those with the children. All right. Continuing on with our program, the next item on our agenda is the Appalachian Assistive Technology Loan Program. And here to talk to us about that is Kenny Jones. Come on up, sir.
He is not here. Sandra is going to present it.
Oh, well, fantastic. All right. I love finding things out last minute. Sandra, come on back to the mic.
Sandra, would you like me to have a chair and sit down up front? And sit down.
I know I don't want to feel that encumbered, but
You're also next.
am I next after this?
That's what I'm saying. Do you want to go ahead and have a chair?
Me too. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. I really didn't know. So I have absolutely not a thing prepared, but I shall endeavor. Yesterday, maybe some of you heard Kenny Jones talking about the Appalachian Loan Project, and it was a It was a program that was designed years ago with the assistance of vocational rehabilitation and an act of our state government to help individuals with disabilities, all disabilities, afford assistive technology for the improvement and independence of their lives. Now, this loan, it used to be called something else, but we lost our funding source, our financial backer. In other words, a big bank with lots of money. But we continued on through this Appalachian project. It was a cooperative agreement between Kentucky and Ohio. So we still have the loan program. The loans will provide money, up to $7,000 for assistive technology. Now, what is assistive technology? We bat that term around all the time. We as blind people talk about our assistive technology, our AT, and usually we're talking about something with lots of keys and USB slots and things of that nature. But the definition of assistive technology includes anything that will enhance an individual with a disability's independence as they navigate their lives. Anything. So if a Bluetooth speaker, let's say, I mean, it's a Bluetooth speaker, but if you have some sort of job and if you have a severe hearing loss, and that speaker can be connected to almost tipped over, to a computer or something, that's going to enhance you by helping you do that job. So these loans can be used for any type of technology. For instance, if a person, now I know a ramp usually costs more than $7,000. But if there were a ramp needed and that's what it costs, a modification to a vehicle. I served on the Loan Corporation board probably 8-10 years ago, and I served on that board for 8-10 years. It's a board that is governor appointed. You do have to be approved by the governor. They're always looking for people to participate, but it's an awesome opportunity, not only for those who serve on the board, but for everyone like you all in this room who may need that little extra help. And it's not like getting a traditional loan. The Loan Corporation endeavors to give these loans to people. We understand that sometimes individuals with disabilities have extenuating circumstances. Maybe we had to buy that $50,000 piece of medical equipment and we got behind our insurance payments, or the payments to keep that up. And we look at everything. We look at money coming in, money going out for bills and medication, a lot of things that traditional loans don't take into consideration. But it's an awesome opportunity. Right now, the Loan Corporation is mostly financing hearing aids. And while that's a great thing, we don't have a lot of blind folks applying. And that's a shame because that money is there to be used to enhance the lives of folks with disabilities. So if you have a need, a desire, something that's going to help you, or maybe it's going to help a child with a disability, a parent or grandparent with a disability, you can see me. I think there are still information flyers in print, large print and braille at the back of the room. So we have that information, and please take advantage of any of it. And I hope I conveyed to you the information you might need, since I didn't know. Okay. Okay. Let me think if I remember. 5 years? I was close. 0. No, it's a 0% interest on a 4-year term. That's better than getting one of these loans that are out there for high-priced AT. Some of those are a little crazy with the interest. So, like I said, it's something to consider for that note taker, a Braille embosser, the Apple Watch. You're not going to win tonight because I am. Any easy questions? There is an application process, and there is the website. So if you are to go back and get that paper, it has all of that information on it, so you can access the website, and the application is on the on that website, and generally turnaround between applying and getting your loan, as long as because a lot of the onus is on you as an applicant, as long as you have all the information they need, and they do need proof of disability. That is one of the things they need. As long as you have that, it takes about a month from time of application to money in your pocket. Yes, for this, you need to be from Kentucky. They do, most states though, most other states, and I do not know the number of states, but most other states have similar programs. No, there are very few blind people that have applied. Most people have physical disabilities or being deaf or hard of hearing. So no, any disability. Okay, thank you. I'll continue. Okay. Yes.
I'm just going to go ahead and let Sandra continue and go ahead and give us our PAC report. Her foot is bothering her, so we do not want to make her stand up here any longer.
For those of you that don't know, I broke my foot at National Convention, and it is still broken. And today I'm wearing my handy dandy boot, and it's rough. Anyway, let me adopt another persona.
Wear your other hat. Take your other hat off.
Change my hat. Hey, everybody. Hey, it's time to learn about the PAC plan. Come on, clap, clap, clap. I need clapping. Yeah, the PAC plan. What is the PAC plan? I bet some of you know, but I'd be willing to wager just a tiny bit that some of you don't know. Is there anyone who does not know what the PAC plan is? Please signify by clapping. Oh, yay, I feel new participants in my blood already. Well, the PAC plan is pre-authorized contribution. Now, what are you contributing to? You are contributing to the National Federation of the Blind. I mean, we love these services. We love these things. Don't we like state convention? Don't we like national, whatever, those conventions we have, the Washington Seminar, all of the things we participate, everything. Free canes, we like free canes and free slates and styluses. We love all that, but all of that takes money. And we are a part of that federation, so they need our help. And if we help, then we're helping other people. And a pledge to the PAC plan can be a simple $5 per month. That's it. We spend more for a middle-sized latte at Starbucks. That's more than $5. I know, I got one the other day, and it was more than that $5. Right now, what I understand, we are number 25 in the nation. That is awesome, because you know what? Last year we weren't even on the radar, and it was because of you. Last year when I stood up here and I talked about this awesome opportunity for us all, I made a goal. I set that goal for not me. I mean, I've been on the PAC plan for quite a while. I made this goal for us, the state of Kentucky to help out our national to get 10 participants by the end of the year. And guess what? We did. And that's what moved us up in the ranking. So here is what I propose to all of you. For anyone today, and today only, it's a sale, today only, if you sign up for the PAC plan, and it's really easy, all you have to do is come and see Lonnie Swafford and myself at lunchtime, and we will help you get on the PAC plan. You will need a handy dandy credit card. And we can help you, and that $5 a month is the minimum. I mean, if you want to donate 100, we are not going to say no. We're just not. Or one, like I said yesterday, the $20 bills, we're not saying no to those contributions. But just think about it, $5 a month, and you can help others. And you know what we're going to have to do, don't you? We're going to have to make another goal. So anybody who signs up today, or I know there are a lot of you in this room who are already on the plan. So if you want to increase your monthly contribution, let's say right now you're giving $5 a month, but you want to up it to $7. I mean, you can up it by, 10 or 12 if you want, but just by $2, anything. If you do that today, and today only, your name will be entered in a drawing for a $25 gift card. Now, I have no idea right now where that gift card is to, but hey, it's $25 that you didn't have to something you might want, right? Right. Yeah, instead of the $5, you've got some Starbucks money. So you all know we're going to have to sing this song, aren't we? Are you on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3. Get on the PAC plan. Sign up today. We need your contribution right away. Funding a movement, it must be done. All our battles can be won. Yeah. Okay, gotta sit down. Gotta sit down.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Sandra. Have a seat and rest that foot. All right. Do we want to get a door prize? Squishy ball. Okay. Uno. You just got a door prize.
Stand up and give us a little shimmy if your name is Kayla Jones. You've won the door prize.
Is Kayla in here?
Are you still back there?
If you're in here, stand up and say hooray. Oh,
she said she was.
Gotcha. Okay, well, thank you for being honest. All right, go ahead and draw another one.
And the cane points to Mary Ann Beisler, winner of the door prize.
Oh, draw again.
This door prize goes to Montrese Peyton Harding.
Montrese.
They've won the door prize.
Oh, come on, guys.
Congratulations to Mary Herod, who won the door prize.
All right. Let's continue on with our next presenter. Jacob is going to talk to us about our White Cane Drive.
Am I close enough? Can you hear me? Should I be closer? Okay.
You don't have to lean down.
I don't. Okay. Perfect. So we are doing a white cane fundraiser, and I'm collecting any canes you have, folding, straight, Bridget. If you have a cane, it's broken, I can take it. They take the canes and
I'm actually going
but
there.
You're just way taller than me.
I'll just start over. So we are doing a white cane drive, and if you donate a cane, you're entered to get $25. And we take any kind of cane, broken, beat up. If it's a folding cane, it's a straight cane. Any of those, we'll take them. And so the organization it goes to is the You Cane Give, and they take the canes, they fix them, give them new cane tips, new elastic, any kind of stuff like that. And they go to areas that may not have good access to canes. So like Africa, for example, may have difficulty getting canes there, provide them to them, without any cost, help them, give them repair kits actually to repair them as well, extra cane tips and so on. So if you have any canes, come see me. We have gotten quite a few donations here. So anytime, just come see me. Oh yeah, and just to emphasize, that is $25. You'll be entered for a door prize. Or not a door prize. You'll be entered for a $25 prize. I'm getting things mixed up, but donate a cane, $25 potentially. They are based out of the U.S. I don't remember. Oh, it's Tennessee. They're based out of Tennessee is where they're based out of. Did anyone have any other questions about that?
Is it okay if the canes are kind of bent?
Yes. I've gotten some with the tips completely ripped off at the bottom. So you're good. Some broken in half. All right. Let's see if I can put that back in there. Here you go.
I'll just take it. Thank you so much, Jacob. All right. Ooh, that was a bad sound. I apologize. Next up, we have Todd and Laura Stevens to speak to us about NFB Newsline. Todd is the director of Newsline in Kentucky. And Laura, what's your title? Never mind, you can tell him.
Laura told me to sit down. She said, "I'm not."
I'm sure she did. Actually, that's not true. He told me you go do this. Anyway.
Sounds more like it.
Anyway, I'm here to talk about NFB Newsline, and I'm going to be quick because I know everybody's hungry. NFB Newsline is the audio reading service for people with print disabilities. Everyone in this room is most likely eligible. There are over 500 publications, newspapers, magazines, newspapers from other countries. If you are not signed up to receive NFB Newsline services, you need to contact me or Todd. Karen Main's actually going to be helping us out today during lunch because we're for our exhibit time. But get in touch with us and we will get you signed up. Thank you. Okay, yeah, okay. I will do that as well. So Todd and I do NFB Newsline for the state of Kentucky. We are required to have 72 new subscribers each year. This year has been a challenge for us because most of our referrals come from the vocational rehabilitation. And since there are not serving as many people now, our numbers have been low this year. We are not going to meet our goal. Right now we have 2,400 and some subscribers, and I don't remember the exact number. Todd might know that. 47? Okay, 2,487 subscribers. It'd be great if we could get over 2,500 subscribers within the next month or two. But we really need your help. We have a contest each year for individuals who give us the most referrals for new subscribers, and it's actually a pretty lucrative contest. You can win $250 if you are the individual who provides the most new subscribers to NFB Newsline. If you, for all of the other subscribers, their names are entered into a drawing with the possibility of winning $150. So if you can help us out with this process, we would greatly appreciate it. Anything else I need to talk about, Todd? No. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Laura and Todd. And if you'd like to sign up for Newsline, please make sure you see them during the exhibits. There we go. Exactly. Please see them during lunch, during exhibit times. Our next presenter, Jacob's coming back to the microphone to talk to us about fundraising and popcorn.
I'll just pick this up again. So we are doing a fundraiser this year we did it last year, Double Good popcorn, and we made, I think we sold $3,000 ish worth last year, and 50% of the sales goes straight to us. So about $1,500 in that, and that was just in 4 days. It is a 4-day fundraising window. And last year we did it just kind of among the board, testing it out. But this year we want to open up to you guys. What we'll do is the top raiser and it does track it through the app so you can see it and kind of compete with each other. And the person who raises the most money will receive a $25 gift card. What you'll do, and this is also included in the agenda, is you'll download the Double Good Popcorn app from the App Store, Play Store, whatever your store is. And then you enter the code PYHLLJ, also included in the agenda, and you can create your store, and it gives you a link. You send it out to whoever. There is, I believe it's about 6 different popcorn flavors. They kind of rotate, and it is premium popcorn. So that basically after a person uses your link, buys the popcorn, and the event ends, they will pop all the popcorn, package it up, and then send it out. And it gets out to you fairly quickly. So anyway, it's pretty good. If you have any questions, let me know.
Can I add something?
Yep, go ahead.
So we're not a big fan of popcorn. So they do have an option on there where you can give popcorn to frontline workers. And so if you don't want to eat the popcorn yourself, you can just donate money and then they give it to firefighters and stuff like that.
Yep. So I was just saying you can donate directly on there. And we did have several people did that last year as well, which was popular. Go ahead.
Let me get you the mic, Karen.
Okay. The app is extremely user-friendly. The hardest part is you need to download a picture, but you can download any picture from your photo album, right, Jacob? We picked the logo for the National Federation of the Blind, but I don't think it really matters what you put on your store. And like I said, it's really easy. And the popcorn, well, I don't know that I've had better anywhere else. So.
All right. Any other questions?
Doesn't look
All
like
right.
it.
I'll try to put this back.
Well, here, I'll take it from you.
All right.
Who's ready to eat? Okay, so same scenario as yesterday. Do not move. We will come by, get your lunch ticket. Remember, it is the ticket that does not have the hole punch in it. That is for this evening. That's your banquet ticket. We'll come by, get your lunch ticket, and your choices are the same as yesterday. That is chicken salad, ham, turkey, and then if you've requested a vegetarian, you get a